Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Alex Thomas here, back with my Nerd Talk crew with another episode of Nerd Talk. We're episode 104, and today is going to be a very exciting day. I'm here with my colleagues, Tyler, aka Mind of a Nerd, AJ Reacts 2, and Kevin. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, guys?
Today was a horrible day.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Legit horrible. No ifs, ands, or buts. It was horrible.
It's okay, man. We're about to talk about so you'll be all right.
Yeah, I was counting down till 8 o'clock. It was rough. It's a bad day. Bad day all around.
AJ, how was your day, bro?
I had a pretty good day. I mean, not to rub it in or nothing, but yeah, it was a cool day. Like, I feel bad now. Like, my day was cool. Like, yeah, I watched the 1954 Godzilla for the first time. And we're doing a originals versus remake video for that, so that's one reason why I watched that. I've been needing to watch it for a while, but it was okay. We'll get more into that in that.
Is that video. The one? Is that the one Criterion released?
Mm-hmm.
Criterion has released a few, or not a few, a lot of them.
Yeah.
I saw that big set.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think that's the only one that has the
a single release, right? That's what I'm saying. They have a single release. I went to the half price books and I almost picked it up.
Yeah, it's one that I'm not running back to, but it has some interesting things about it.
I would buy the Criterion to watch the bonus features.
That's what I said. I almost bought it just so I can have it in the collection. At least that very first one, at least, you know.
I need to get on my bonus features that I already own. That's what I need.
Yeah. I told myself starting this year I wanted to go back into special features of certain specific movies that I own. But with these newer Blu-rays, they barely have any like in-depth special features. They're more like small featurettes other than like behind the scenes of like a whole making of a certain movie or whatever. I feel like more studios stuff need to go back to that.
I feel like Warner Brothers does a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, but for me, it's like
Dune.
I think the Warner Brothers have no issue with it's other studios. Like obviously, I wanted to keep talking about Disney, but Disney is a big counter of it. Like, there's no way you released all these Marvel films and don't give us no decent special features on your.
The problem is with the MCU they take. And instead of putting them on the disc, they'll put like the assembled thing. They'll put it on Disney Plus. It's like, that's like cool, but
I don't like that.
Put it on the disc. Like,
I pay all this money for this disc.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Like I said, I give an example. Like I think for Infinity War and Endgame, there should have been like a huge documentary on both of those discs of how they made those movies. I'm sorry. Like, there's something we've been waiting on. The combination of all this whole thing, and you guys don't give us a whole documentary on how you guys made these two movies. Come on, son. Come on, bro. But
I agree.
Kevin, how was your day, bro? You quiet over there? You good?
Yeah, I'm letting you guys speak. It was a solid day. Was a little productive on watching media and all that. Watched the first 2 episodes of Shogun. That was pretty good. You know, a lot of narrative based stuff on there, but I think the end of the episode and hopefully the third gets more into the meat and potatoes of the plot.
I'm thinking I'm gonna wait till that show is done to get into it. I think I'm gonna binge it because I'm so upset. I'm watching, so I'm loving The Walking Dead, the ones who were the one with Rick Michonne, but I wish they would just release the whole show, just release the whole thing. Why we gotta why I gotta wait for these episodes?
You'll be there soon.
I know it's only 6 episodes, but it's like that's exactly my point. If it's only 6 episodes, just release the whole thing. It's on fucking AMC Plus, isn't it? Is it only on there, right? It's not on AMC, right?
You sound like you're enjoying the show. So what is it?
I really am enjoying the show. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying I want the whole thing.
No, you gotta wait. You gotta be
patient. Netflix has spoiled us, bro.
Netflix 6 episodes, or maybe 6 episodes.
Bro, Cobra Kai drops all them episodes, all them joints dropping at the same time.
Cobra Kai better drop every single episode and don't do the thing like Stranger Things do. Do not do that because I'm ready for that. I just finished season 5 of Cobra Kai and I'm like, bro, I'm so ready for the next season. Like, come on, let's get it. Come on.
The only time I didn't like Netflix's binge format was when they released all of season 4 of Stranger Things in a single day, and them episodes were like movies.
Oh my god!
bitch to get through, bro.
Trying to watch the episode.
I did that shit in one day too. The first time.
Trying to watch the episode.
They broke up season 4 though. They broke it up.
The last 2 episodes they released. It was 2 episodes that they saved, bro.
And I did not like that either. That was bullshit.
Yeah, they should have.
The last episode was 2.5 hours. Like,
yeah, they should have been regular.
That was a lot.
I always think about returning to that season, and then I think about, they're like feature length. I'm not watching that.
I mean, season 5's not coming for like another year, maybe.
Exactly.
I'll watch the show again because I actually had fun going through the show before season 4. So I'll go through it again. Even season 3, which I wasn't big on when I first saw it, I enjoyed it more the second time around.
Probably gonna pop in my Blu-rays for.
I wasn't talking about the rest of the show. Like I'll go back to those anytime. I'm talking about season 4 specifically. Yeah,
I'm happy I got season 2 now. They just released season 3, but
they need to drop season 3 and 4.
Yeah,
Netflix gonna raise their prices 3 more times before they do that.
Mm-hmm. You're right,
and we're not that far off from them doing that.
Nope,
you're right.
What was it? Season 5 just finally started filming, and then they announced price increases again. I was like, I wonder where that money is going to.
Everyone just wait till the season comes out and then do a free trial and cancel it.
Yeah, $52.93 a month.
Yo,
get that, bro. But today we got a quick show. We only got one topic, and of course we got our main topic. So let's go ahead and get into our first topic. Did everyone watch the Strangers trailer? Because I just watched it, and so the first Strangers came out 2006, and we had a sequel. And we got this one, and it's the same shit. That's how I feel about this trailer. It's the same thing. What is different about this movie than the first one has, or even what's the other one, Pray at Night or whatever that one's called, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I have my thoughts.
I wasn't very interested in this movie. This feel like it's another IP that they know. People know what the Strangers is, so let's go ahead and make another one. But let's do a prequel this time since we haven't done a prequel yet. I don't know. I wasn't very interested.
It's hard to tell what it is because from the beginning of the trailer, it made it look like it was a remake, and I was like, okay. Yep. And then they say something in the trailer. It's like what did it say?
It said witness how the Strangers became the Strangers.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Once I saw that, I said, "Oh, it's a prequel." Okay,
right.
But it still looks like a remake. I don't know.
It does look like a remake.
It does, yeah.
This and Twisters, the same thing. Twisters looks like a remake of the original Twister. It's like,
but it's supposed to be a sequel, though, right? It's supposed to be a sequel.
It is a sequel, and it has
reboot. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it has like some of the same characters or anything, but I know that it's got that gimmick where it's 2 of them rather than just one. So Twisters gotta have that S
twins.
In there. Twins.
I just watched the trailer when I went to see Dune. I'm like, okay. But back to this, I was surprised they didn't show this trailer, but I don't know why would they show this for Dune. Because is this Warner Brothers? No, it's not Warner Brothers. Lionsgate. But I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't very interested in this trailer.
The Blumhouse movie that comes out this weekend is Lionsgate.
It's Imaginary. Is that the one? Okay.
I put this on my top 10 list for the year because I was morbidly curious. I was like, okay, they announced that they're doing 3 movies right off the bat, and it's Rennie Harlin, and I was like,
that's a red flag.
Yeah. It was more curiosity rather than me liking the decision. I was like, that's an odd choice, but okay. And I was interested. I was like, okay, they're remaking The Strangers. I wonder how that's gonna be because I only really know one person that genuinely likes Pray at Night. I don't. I think it's atrocious, actually. So I was curious, and then the way they were going about this marketing was interesting because they released just a random clip. They didn't release a teaser or nothing. They just released a clip, and that one clip I thought was actually really effective. I was like, ooh, okay. It was to the point where I was like, I could not see a trailer and just go in blind off that clip. I'd be okay. But I wanted to see the trailer because I wanted to see what this thing actually, was. I actually really like this trailer. I did. I really like the trailer. I am a little bummed that it looks like pretty much the same exact as the first movie. I am a little bummed about that. Like, if you're gonna remake it, fucking remake it because I don't think that movie's that good. It's pretty okay. There's some good jump scares in it. There's one that I actually really like. But it's not a great movie and it can be remade. My main recommendation is don't make the characters idiots because they have got to be the dumbest horror characters ever. But I enjoyed this trailer. I really like the way it's shot. There were some effective jump scares here. I like how intense it looks. It kind of reminds me of the 2003 Texas Chainsaw, where it's like more in your face than the original Texas Chainsaw is. It's like it's more intense, and like Leatherface is like actually running and hauling ass. Um, there's one jump scare in here I wish they did not show in the trailer because
that was my issue too. I feel like they showed a lot. They showed a lot.
I said that. I texted that to these guys when I ended the trailer. I was like, I really like the trailer, but I feel like I saw the whole movie, which was disappointing. I guess they figure like, oh, well, it's a prequel, so who really cares? Like, dude, you still want me to see your freaking movie, right? Like, but yeah, there's a jump scare. Yeah, there's a jump scare in this that I thought was great. Like, I was watching it, I was like, oh, but like, I wish I didn't see it because now I'm gonna expect it. It kind of reminds me of Smile when they showed the best jump scare of the movie in the trailer. But I like it. I do. I think it looks pretty fun for what it is. It looks really intense, and that was my biggest takeaway. Like, I like the part where the dude hits the door and he comes like he puts his face in the hole of the door. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. My one takeaway though, I don't really love their costumes, their masks. I don't love that at all. I think that is definitely a downgrade from what came.
Well, if it's a prequel,
maybe they changed. I don't know, but I saw somebody post a picture of the original and then this, and I was like, yeah, I don't think the masks look great. They look a little weird. They're kind of the same, but kind of not. They're different enough that I noticed it, but I'm gonna be there. I'm looking forward to it. And if it sucks, it sucks. I don't care. That's on me for being excited. But I've been interested in this from the jump, and it looks pretty okay to me. I don't know.
Go ahead, AJ.
I'm gonna try to be brief. So when I heard that this was happening, I was not really that excited because I do like the original, but like I don't feel like this movie, Pray at Night, didn't really need to happen, and this trilogy definitely doesn't need to happen. And we got that clip like some months ago. I was like, this is kind of nothing. It didn't really affect me at all. And then I just watched that trailer, bro. The trailer up until a point was so generic and plain, and like it looked straight to streaming. It honestly, I was like, this could be a streaming movie. And then they got into where they knock on the door and you see the shadow and stuff like that. I was like, okay, this is getting more into what the original was like. Then things start getting pretty intense. I kind of like those sequences. Like, I really like how sadistic they are and like how kind of playful they are a little bit. You see the woman with the mask like lean her head on the dude. And I'm like, I like that. Like, it's kind of like, it kind of gives me like Harley Quinn Joker type feels. But like this movie, it feels so generic and like copy and paste from the original. And I'm just like, and they even showed the scene where they're tied up at the end. And I'm like, that's like the end of the movie, like end of the first movie. Like,
unless they pull like a 180 and like that's the end of the second act, and then there's like an actual like
yeah,
other
like
third
something
act.
else. I don't know. Like that would be kind of interesting if this was like just the first part of the movie and like the actual home invasion part is going to be later in the movie. I don't know. That would be interesting. But like if this is the whole movie, that's the whole movie. I don't even feel like I
I'm
need
gonna
to
be
watch
annoyed.
it.
I'm gonna be annoyed if I sit down and nothing surprises me. Like really,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be annoyed.
And then you
And
got two more of those. You got two more of them
Mhm.
joints.
Yeah.
So I'm just
and
like,
this is
I
the
don't
thing.
know.
If they actually go, I don't want to spoil it because if they really do remake this beat for beat, then I'm spoiling the fucking movie. But if they go beat for beat with the original, it's like, well, then what are the other two going to be about?
Mhm.
And I really don't understand the whole thing of how the strangers became the stranger. I don't understand that because
Yeah, me
this
either.
looks like a remake of the original.
Yeah. It don't look like
So
we're getting into the life of these people. Like it
yeah,
doesn't.
I don't really. I mean that could be interesting. I'm more interested in that than them doing this.
Yeah.
Would it be kind of like ripping off Texas Chainsaw? Sure, but I mean it's still more interesting than just going beat for beat with
Yeah,
the
do like how they did with the beginning. Do it like that. They
Wh-
should have just did that.
which is the best Texas Chainsaw movie, by the way.
A lot of people argue about that. I actually do like the beginning. I really do like that movie.
Which I didn't know that was a legit argument until I saw the movie. I
Yeah,
said it and I was just like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's the best Texas Chainsaw movie." Fine, and then I found out no, a lot of people
Yeah,
really like
yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm not alone."
I remember seeing that. Did I see that in theaters? I think I did. Yeah. That was like 2006. Oh yeah, I definitely remember that.
Yeah, well, all in all, I'll probably just be skipping this one, watch it at home. I'm not very interested in this. So.
Go ahead, Kevin.
So unlike you three, I haven't seen the original, so my thoughts will be very brief. It was cool.
Mhm.
It was cool. I kind of had the same feeling with AJ, whereas like before all of the actual horror stuff are taking place, the beginning, I'm just like, I saw this movie 2 months ago, with Night Swim. Family, couple shows up at a home. They made a new neighborhood. They're vibing, and then they see something weird, and then that's when shit goes down. Uh, I disagree with Tyler. I thought the mask looks pretty cool. Like cool
I was
enough
gonna say that too.
I was just
I
like,
think the
I
match
was
looked
like,
kind of
It
great.
doesn't
it's
look.
cool.
It
The
doesn't look bad. It looks. I think it looks worse than the original, but I don't think it looks bad. Like the designs are
I mean,
fine.
that's neither. I mean, that's neither here or there. But I like the masks; they look cool. But other than that, I was just like, "This is pretty cool." If I see it, I'm sure it'll be, an experience. But that's pretty much all it will be. I did
It will
notice
be
one
an
thing.
experience.
I mean,
You will be experiencing that.
but that's also I think Kevin for you is that you haven't seen the original, so this is
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
And
Yes, he has.
this,
He's seen the
I
original.
have not.
He's seen because it's
I
a
have
billion
not.
other movies like that.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, all right.
It's nothing
I did
groundbreaking.
see to reply to your point about like, oh, how the strangers became the strangers. It's funny because that's one of my biggest gripes when it comes to showing like prequel stuff. And if they do it right, which for some parts they do, but I'm never really getting the vibes of like, oh yeah, here's how this villain became the villain. I'm just like, really? Some villains are pretty good at just being the sadistic fucks that they are. Like I think
Michael
for the
Myers.
most part that's like I can't think of a good example, but like
I mean,
I don't need sadistic individuals needing a backstory as to why they became sadistic individuals. Like if done right, it's cool. But like
I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre beginning did it right. I believe they did it right because we see how they became the people we see in 2003.
Yeah, it's more.
It's literally
more
like
origin.
checking the boxes of what we get, why the characters are where they are.
It's more an origin on the family, not so Leatherface. And even I know Alex doesn't really care for it. I actually enjoyed the Leatherface prequel for what it was. I thought it was pretty neat for what it was. But even that movie is not totally about Leatherface.
Right.
But it has those elements to it, to where it's like his origin.
Talking about the beginning.
I guess.
The Leatherface movie.
Yes and no. Again, that movie is kind of mostly about the family versus just Leatherface.
Right. It's a prequel though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen it, so or the beginning.
I would recommend the beginning for sure. Put it on your 31 for October.
I want to.
But yeah, it was good. I might see it, I might not. Just probably my mood will dictate.
We get a release date?
May.
Okay.
Oh,
Another movie thrown into May.
I might be skipping it. Another one I'll be skipping. But yeah.
Sorry,
So,
May's reserved for Planet News for me.
yeah.
Inferiors.
All right, you guys.
What's
Oh, that comes out. I thought it came out June. My fault.
It might be June. Who cares?
It might be. I think it's the end of May.
We'll be there anyway.
I think Furiosa is at the end of May.
We'll see.
But yeah, you guys got any more thoughts on this trailer before we move on to our big topic of the day?
Nah.
Go to it.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our main topic of the day, and it is Dune Part 2 spoiler talk. Now, obviously, you guys know it's spoiler talk. So if you guys have not seen Dune Part 2, what are you guys doing here? Go to the theater and go see it because you're missing out.
If you even can.
You guys are missing out on the theater experience. You guys are missing out. I just took my little brother took me to go see it yesterday, and he was freaking. He wanted to go crazy so bad. And yes, the special guest has finally joined our stream. Finally. So we got Smooth J Stew,
What's happening?
aka Studio Time, back on Nerd Talk.
What's
I
happening?
was hoping he was
too, man.
I was hoping he
crazy
was
right
going. I was going to hope he was going to join at this time, which is awesome.
I was gonna text him too, and I was like, "Nah, he's not gonna join. He's probably busy, bro."
But yeah,
You gotta keep you on your toes.
and he
You
texted
live,
me.
baby.
He texted me when I was at work, like, send me the link. I'm like, all right, but do AJ and Tyler know that you're gonna be coming? He's like, no, don't tell him. I'm like, all right, I got you. I got you. So welcome back, John, the co-founder of Nerd Talk. Welcome back, bro. But we're ready to talk about this movie. But first, obviously, want to go around to every single person, give quick thoughts before we get into spoilers. We can go down the line, start with Tyler, AJ, Kevin, then John. I already got a review, so I'm not going to say anything. Just know I fucking loved it. Go ahead, Tyler.
I have a review as well on my Instagram. In terms of my experience with this movie, it's actually kind of special. This movie's gonna stay with me for a while, and it's not even because of the quality of the movie. Like that's like more than half of it, but like the first half of it is because Sunday night me and Kevin went to the fan premiere in the city. It was special. It was a special time. We did not know that they were gonna have the red carpet. I don't know. We didn't know that was gonna be there, and we pulled up to the city and we saw all these cars and it was decked out in Dune stuff. We were like, holy shit. And we stood out there in 30-degree weather, looking at the actors and we saw Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, Anya Taylor-Joy, Florence Pugh. It was awesome. It was my first time ever being a part of that.
Nice.
And it was so fucking cool. And then that was the appetizer, because then we got inside. The atmosphere inside the theater was off the chart. And seeing this movie in a fully packed theater with like hundreds of people, or like a lot of people, I don't know how many are in our theater. It felt so special and in the moment. I don't normally like saying stuff like this about new movies. Normally, I like to let it sit and resonate. This is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. I'm just gonna say this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. I'm a changed. In the words of Kevin, I am a changed man after this. I just am. I walked out of this movie with the biggest smile on my face, and I saw it again yesterday, and I had tears in my eyes when it ended, because it's just such an incredible experience, and it's so just amazing to see a film like this with such amazing filmmaking, and to know that we will still get movies like this. It's phenomenal beyond belief. It's one of the greatest ever, and it's gonna stay at my number one probably for the rest of the year, no question. I loved it.
AJ.
I mean, it was cool or whatever. Nah,
Here you go. Here this guy go.
I do
This
have
guy
a few. Okay, I do have a few nitpicks.
Oh, brother, this guy.
But this movie
Oh, this guy stinks.
This movie was spectacular. In every sense of the word. It was a spectacle, visually, sound wise, acting, wardrobe, like every aspect of this film was fantastic. Like I said, I have a few nitpicks and we'll get into those. I know you guys probably don't feel the same way, but that's okay. But overall, spectacular. 5 out of 5.
Kevin.
So I had a similar experience with Tyler because I was with him, but one thing that he didn't fail to mention was how hilarious all the fans reacting to the actor showing up was, because they were pulling up in black vans and all that, so you couldn't really see who it was. I at least couldn't see who it was. But then you hear a crowd being like, "Oh my god!" and we're just like, "What the fuck? Who is it?" One person screams, "It's Timothy Chalamet!" I'm like, "How did you all see that?" Then he steps out of the car, and then we got to see him. It was awesome.
The Duke of Arrakis himself.
It was getting really cold, and I was like, "All right, come on, Kevin, let's go to the theater. I'm not trying to, stay online." And we hear everybody scream. We were like, "Oh, come on, let's go back."
It's cold.
Tom Holland said it's too cold out there. And there you go ahead and go.
Yeah, that's probably why he ain't show up.
Mm-hmm.
I love this movie. This was just an experience of a lifetime, and it's hilarious because some other people mentioned it. The last major movie to come out before Dune Part 2 was Madam Web, and you had two completely like a whiplash effect of going from Madam Web all the way to Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
But enough of Madam Web. This movie was amazing. I love the story that they brought with it because at first, in the first movie and even in the little bit beginning of the second movie, even though I kind of knew what Paul was going to become later on in the franchise, like part of me was just like, where is this going to? Is this just a typical like hero's journey? But you can clearly tell that this wasn't, mainly because Paul was just contradicting all of that the entire movie. Like, I'll just say this right now, like when his mother drank the poison and like she was struggling through it, they were just like, "Oh, if she survives, that means you're the Lisana Gai." But he was just like, "No, she's just trained for that. That's just how it is." I just really loved everything about this movie because it critiques just a lot of things related to that hero's journey, but also just like Paul is not only accepting his fate, but also using that to his advantage. And I really love that. So just overall, just the visuals, the sound design, especially in that IMAX theater was just, man, it was just amazing. So I have more to say, but that's all spoiler stuff. So I'll hold off until we actually get into it.
All right. John, welcome back, bro.
Thank you. This movie is a masterpiece. This is one of the greatest cinematic accomplishments in the history of filmmaking.
Yes.
I feel that way about the first one. I know a lot of people have this one over the first one. I think these two movies are equal. Dune Part 2 is a wonderful science fiction spectacle. This is what science fiction should be. This is the kind of science fiction that I crave, that I long for. It has spectacle, it has character development, it has emotional depth, it has political allegory, it has everything that I love about science fiction, other than just lights and lasers and and superpowers. This movie is so good, and I haven't read the source material, so I mean, a lot of the credit goes to Frank Herbert, but for Denis Villeneuve to accomplish what he did with this movie and take those little nitpicks that people had with the first movie and expand on that and have everything that he set up in the first movie pay off and still leave a little bit more to be desired for the third movie. Like he is just it is a wonderful accomplishment. I absolutely love this movie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Obviously, I echo all you guys' points. I agree with John. This is a masterpiece. I've already seen it 3 times already, and I want to go see it again. I just want to go see this movie again. I can't wait to own this, so I can watch it whenever I want and do a double feature of part 1 and part 2 just back to back, because that's going to be a spectacle to do.
Yeah.
Especially in 4K, like, oh my god, I'm just so ready for it, and I'm hoping that
I'm
4K,
already thinking about doing that on my 85-inch TV.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping that it's true that hopefully the 4K will be in IMAX. Just make the whole thing in IMAX. Just please.
My head is gonna explode.
I really hope that it will be in IMAX. So don't. And I'm praying that it is, because oh my god,
my body is ready.
Yes. But so yeah, let's go ahead and get into spoilers, man. And let's go ahead and talk about this movie. I've been so dying to talk about it, especially going deep dive into it, because there's a lot to talk about. Like I said, especially with Paul, Lady Jessica, the Fremen, all this stuff, and
Lady Jessica, bro.
My God, man. Let's just go ahead and get into it. You guys want to go from beat, or you guys want to just talk about favorite scenes? How you guys want to do this?
You do favorite scenes.
Yeah.
This is favorite scenes.
Bro,
I
you
guess,
go into one character, you're speaking on the whole movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
I guess what we can start with is where this movie picks up and like how it kind of progresses with Paul, because it's his movie essentially. So the last movie, Dune Part 1, it was mostly about the fall of the House of Atreides and this heir watching his family die and falling into this tribe, and this movie is essentially the revenge quest of that, if you will. And I think that I wasn't expecting that. I tried to stay away from the trailers more often than not. I saw the first trailer a good amount of times, but once they started releasing trailers that were like 3.5 minutes long, I'm like, all right, bro, I'm good on that. So I avoided the trailers for the most part. So a lot of this was surprising to me. I think Paul's arc in this movie is a term that I actually really like using when it's proper. Tragically beautiful.
Yeah,
that is the word I would describe for Mr. Atreides. I love the fact that he starts this part one way. He goes through like so many motions in this movie, and I really like the fact that this movie starts. He's like, "Listen, bro, I don't want any of this. I don't want to be, Muad'Dib or none of this.
He don't want to leave. He just want to fight with you.
Yeah, I just want
to fight with you guys, man. I just want to be a friend. Man. That's all I want."
And I really like the fact that this movie goes on and it gets to the point where he has no choice.
Yeah.
And when he drinks that the stuff from the water of life,
the worm poison, the worm piss.
Which I'll talk about that in a second.
They call it the worm piss. Look like Powerade.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I
look like Powerade.
I said blue raspberry Kool-Aid.
Yo, you guys saw the blue Gatorade memes that came out of that movie?
Yeah. Blue Powerade about to sell out in every store. Everybody wants to drink the water of life.
Slap Dune on the Gatorade bottle.
Yeah,
get some sales on that.
I really like how when he drinks the water of life, it's like a switch was flicked on in his head.
Yes.
And I know
See it
quite
in his
literally
eyes,
that
though. You see it in his eyes.
and I know quite literally that's what happened, but
Yeah.
it's, you know, in terms of his personality, a switch was flicked, and it was like, no, this isn't fucking Paul Atreides anymore, bro. Like, this is, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass and kick you in the dirt.
Yeah.
That's
This is
who this
Emperor
was.
Paul Atreides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that the scene. I know we're jumping so far ahead. The scene where he walks into this cave, if you will. We'll call it a cave, where all the Fremen are praying and all that.
Oh yeah.
And he walks in, he basically goes, listen, I don't give a fuck what any of you think. None of y'all are gonna say
None of y'all
anything
can go
to me,
against me,
and
bro.
none of y'all are gonna do anything against me. And they all stand up and they're like, who the fuck are you?
He's
And
like,
then
me.
and he says these things to them, and they're like, oh shit, he's not playing around.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, and then when he gives the speech, and you know, long live the fighters, it just his character is just so changed and different.
I mean, not for me, it's not even at the moment before that. Me and John was talking about it, but like this, the moment he's walking, you see the giant worm just
silhouette.
Oh my god, that shot right there. I was like, yo, why is he giving me
That's a wallpaper, bro.
Luke Skywalker vibes for Return of the Jedi after he just he's the one with the Force now. Like, he knows all. He's that guy. You know, it's just he has that look in his eyes like, yeah, I know everything, and you guys can't say anything to me. You know,
because that's how serious they take this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he knows, he's like, they're not gonna do nothing because they believe in it.
Yeah,
and you know, and I, you know, I just love going to the ending. I really love what this movie does such a great job at is making you buy into this character, because we've seen so many times where something like this happens to a character, but you're like, bro, get out of here with like, who are you, bro? Like, you're not fooling anybody. You're a bum, and that's it. This movie does such a great job at giving him this power and putting him in this position, but also he earns it. When he, you know, jumping way to the end, when he beats and kills Fade, that is when he earns it. And you're like, no, like, yeah, he's him, bro. Like, he has earned that pedestal. And now it's like, well, who's gonna try and take him down?
Yeah.
And I have some
I
theories
also
that the houses,
I
man,
also
gotta
like
pay.
how
What are they gonna do with this thing?
When you say earn it, I like how you mentioned that, because it's like when he was, the whole third act was going on, you think to yourself, yeah, he's like he's earned his spot as like the leader of Arrakis. Like, if it stopped there, we're just like, this is a pretty satisfying ending, right? But no, he really like wanted to take it all. He's just like, yo, tell these other great houses, if y'all not gonna leave us alone, we'll come fuck y'all up too, bro. We got atomic bombs up our ass, bro.
We dropping nukes on the spice fields, bro.
Yes.
the perfect,
like
I
don't
feel
play.
like the perfect example of this is Empire Strikes Back. Luke goes to fight Vader. They could have easily had Luke get his ass handed to him, but then, and you know, oh, he overcomes evil and he kills him. Boom, that's it. No, he loses and he has to earn that victory against Vader. It was out of rage, but he still earned that victory. He had to go back and train and learn, because he was a fool when he went to go fight him in Empire. That is something that this movie does so well. It makes you earn that victory. It doesn't just give it to him. And it's like, no, you're gonna sit here and like this because he's the main character. I don't sit there and smile on my face when he tells what's her face? I forgot her name. At the end, when he silences
Reverend
her,
Mother.
the Reverend Mother,
Silence!
when he silences her.
Oh,
my whole theater didn't erupt. My whole theater did not erupt out of applause for no reason when that happened.
Man,
that is because you made me invested in this character, and you made me believe that he is who he says he is.
Timothy
And then
Chalamet
The
was
sound
acting his
design
ass
when
off,
he
bro.
said silence was incredible.
He was
and then
acting
it
his
went
ass
even
off, bro.
further. It went even further by having him prove himself. He already earned it, and then he proved it even more. And by the end, I was like, "You got it, bro. You can do anything, and I'm okay with it." Because you have made me
Like, you're
invested
the
in this
emperor now,
character.
bro. We good.
Yeah, like that is just amazing storytelling to me.
I think what people misconfused about Paul and like his journey to learning about the Fremen, because I think I've seen one TikTok that blew up But I've seen other people talk about this movie in the weird sense that, oh, Paul learned the Fremen ways a little bit too quickly. He's a fighter a little bit too quickly. But if you watch the first movie, shit, if you
Yeah,
even
so
just watch the beginning of this
that's what I'm
movie,
saying.
and you
That
knew,
doesn't make sense. You obviously are trying
yeah,
to blow
like
off
he
bullshit because
studied,
he was
he
learning the stuff
studied
in the first movie.
textbooks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like it
Also, I
was clear
think
he wasn't perfect.
they're I just wanted to interject. Like, I also think there are time jumps throughout this movie that we're
There
not
is time jumps.
really
Yeah,
aware
yeah,
of. Like, because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
mentioned something about the summer. Most of
yeah.
us don't think that he's gonna
You
survive to
make
the
it to the
summer or
summer.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, make it to the summer. And I think when he actually rides the sandworm is the end of the summer. So like there are
well,
some time that
we
goes
we we
by
know there's a
throughout.
time. Well, I don't. It don't
yeah.
help that when she adjusts the water. I think the pregnancy goes faster. But I think we have to judge the pregnancy, how she's progressed in her pregnancy. That's the
Yeah.
time. That's the time we have to focus on for how long he's been with the Fremen. But if I'm not mistaken, the source material, he's with them way longer than we see in the movie. But obviously, it's a movie, so you have to, do certain things. But I think like the montage we get of them taking down all the Harkonnen, the harvester ships and stuff like that. That's a time jump we're getting.
That's like our mini touch
because that's the showing the time going to certain time. Because even when we get the scene where he has a nightmare and he tells Johnny about the nightmare, they you tell they have an established relationship. Like it wasn't just one kiss and now they're sleeping in the same tent. No, this is some time they've been do this the whole time. Which I love that whole scene. I want to jump back to the beginning because I love the way this movie opens with the Harkonnens with those in those little suits and those little they're like that whole sequence is to me sets this movie up so good. With Timothy Chalamet, well, with Paul fighting one of the Harkonnen is succeeding, and then with you got Lady Jessica taking one of them out with the fucking rock and shit, like just the way it's shot, the color grading of the whole scene. Oh my god, this opening is so fire. I just thought it was so cool with their little hover suits and everything. I just thought it was dope.
One thing I also loved about this movie, when we're talking about the time jump, we all speculate on how far this time has jumped, and we're saying, "Oh yeah, we have to follow the pregnancy." I love so much how this movie just kind of doesn't tell you a lot of things that you need to know. It's these characters that are interacting in the world, and we're just witnesses, And I think the only thing
also you got Florence Pugh character doing her diary. She never changes the year when she says.
That's really the only exposition we have in this movie is when Florence Pugh's character is kind of just like making her diary. But
logging,
even then, it's
logging
just like
everything.
It's a natural like, oh yeah, she's logging stuff in because of she needs this information. And the only kind of like text or exposition we got was just the names of the locations because we're just like, all right, where the fuck are we? But other than that, we don't really get a whole lot of explaining. We're just like, all right, this is what's happening right now. This is how the characters are reacting, and you can interpret it in any way you want. And I just absolutely love that because
that's
just great storytelling.
That was the whole. Yeah, I agree. That was the whole point of the first movie. That's why it was so exposition heavy and there was a lot of setup and people were complaining about that. But I'm like, y'all don't understand. If we know that we're getting a part two, part two is going to be the fun and games. Like we gonna get the meat and potatoes in part two. But I still think part one is a phenomenal movie for being a setup movie.
We got two full-course meals.
Basically. Yes, we got two full-course meals.
We got two full-course meals, bro.
And we haven't even hit the dessert yet.
Right.
Right. But going back to what Tyler was saying, I do agree with Paul going through different emotions, different changes. However, I'll add to that I think that Paul is more intelligent than we are giving him credit for. I don't think that he made an abrupt change in the traditional sense once he drunk the water of life. I think
it amplified it.
I think it amplified it. And what me and Alex were talking about earlier was Lady Jessica is also a little different in this movie,
Oh man,
and
he's like a
I
villain.
wasn't get a little bit, but I'm gonna get into that. I
we
wasn't
gonna
quite sure. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what to think of her until
Yeah.
about halfway through the movie. Then I
Mm.
realized what was going on. I was like, oh, she's using all of her Bene Gesserit tact and cunning to orchestrate this prophecy for the good of the Fremen. Because I was thinking the same thing that Alex was thinking. I was like, is she like going, like going back to the Bene Gesserit or working for the Reverend Mother undercover or whatever? But then I realized no, she's using all that she knows about coercion and manipulation to manipulate the Fremen, but not in the traditional sense of manipulation. She's doing it for their own good. And I believe Paul was doing the same thing. Every time he said, I don't want to do this, I just want to fight, I think he was only saying that so he could get them to a certain point to where when he did make that change, it would kind of take everybody aback and be like, yo, he really is he really is this guy. He was kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for, he was psyching him out. And I really think that Lady Jessica and Paul were they were playing chess, not checkers, in this movie. And once I realized like what was really going on, I absolutely loved it, because Chani saw through all of that.
You can see she's like that throughout the entire movie, which I did like. They didn't change that about that. They could have did the whole thing and let her fold and let her actually go with Paul's, agree with Paul about the entire thing. But you could tell through her eyes she doesn't agree with any of this. Like, I'm thinking about the scene where he learns how to ride the worm for the first time. She's happy at first, but then she sees everyone like basically praising him and worshiping him. She's like, oh, this is not
dangerous.
This is not how it should go.
Yeah,
because he's not a Fremen. He's an outsider learning the ways.
Right. Chani represents the entire theme of these movies, these franchise. It like the movies. I know it's science fiction, and it's fun, spectacle, sandworms, war. We love all that stuff, but what it's really about is about the dangers of dogmatic religion and how religion is used to control society. And Chani 100% represents that.
She has a line in the movie too when she says that when Lady Jessica is drinking the water and they're sitting outside in the tent and they're laughing, and he asks, "Oh, what you laughing about?" And she says, "You tell someone that Messiah is coming, they're going to believe in there, but they're going to be waiting for centuries.
They'll wait forever. Yeah,
right. They'll wait forever for a Messiah." But at the end of the day, it should be about the people that's living in this area that should be able to make change, not a Messiah. But obviously, like, of course, that doesn't work. Obviously,
but that's the thing.
The whole thing, because everyone is following Paul, like everyone.
Yeah, that's the thing. Paul is not disagreeing with her. He's using what he knows about the powers of manipulation or whatever, and he's using that to empower the people so they can fight as well. He's leading them in the fight. He's not just some savior that's just gonna wave a magic wand,
right,
and everything is gonna be all hunky-dory. He is actually getting them to be active in their own liberation.
Right. Speaking of that scene, I love I love this movie. Kind of got little horror vibes a little bit, at least in certain aspects. Obviously, with Lady Jessica, with her drinking the water and kind of having like an exorcism kind of like feel, and I just thought it was very eerie. We actually see the poison like smothering the fetus, and you see the eye and everything, and like I just love all that stuff. And then when she's done and she's talking to Paul, and she kind of has like a kind of like an exorcism, like talk to him.
Omnipresent.
Oh man, I just love all that. Everything with Rebecca Ferguson's character is off. Like she has a scene where she's talking to her daughter and she's talking about we have to, make them believe. We have to start with the scared ones, the weak ones. And she just has a look on her face, just like you don't want to fuck with her. She's possessed, man. She just looks possessed, but it's fantastic, man. I love it.
Something I wanted to say about the Bene Gesserit.
I love
this
what they did
really
with this in this movie.
This film really it kind of opened our eyes on what the Bene Gesserit are truly and how long they've been doing what they've been doing, and they're kind of like everybody's kind of puppet on their strings, basically. And like by the first movie, we didn't know nothing about that. Like we knew that they were there, but we didn't know that what kind of influence they had on the world, like the system, the world.
They out here running the world,
the entire empire.
They running the universe.
They wrote this text. They wrote this text that the Fremen study. So, like, I believe the Bene Gesserit are just pure evil in themselves. So they wrote this text that the Fremen read and worship and things like that. And it's like a false narrative that they've created.
Right.
But there's like some truth to it because obviously Paul has these abilities and things like that. And, but, got a splash of truth in there, and then like basically just manipulating these people with that text. So that's very interesting to me, and that kind of opened my eyes to that because I was just like, the Bene Gesserit, like they're just some weirdos, but like they're really controlling everything. The emperor as well.
Yeah.
So see that's the thing. Like with the whole prophecy, the idea was that the Bene Gesserit would, claim that some Messiah is coming to free the Fremen, and they were gonna put enough truth in it that they would still believe, but withhold some of that in order to keep them in check. What Lady Jessica and Paul are doing is like, no, we're gonna fulfill this thing. We're gonna use it against you.
They breaking that mold. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, sorry. I think that Lady Jessica, like John said, like she's gonna use it to gain power with herself in her little realm of the Bene Gesserit. Like you could tell when she looks at the end of the movie, when she looks at the Reverend Mother from the Emperor's side, she looks at him like
you picked the wrong side.
Yeah, like now I'm gonna take control not only of the Fremen religion but also the Bene Gesserit entirely. I'm gonna be the Reverend. I'm gonna be in your position, and she probably is. Once this whole Messiah thing comes to fruition, I think that. And I think Paul, like, I don't think he used it in a sense, in the beginning at least, he didn't want to use it. He even said, like, one character even said to him, I forgot who it was, I think it was Gurney. He was just like, sorry, hold on.
Something that I really kind of find ironic about this movie, the water of life is kind of gonna bring a lot of death. And I kind of really like that. Lady Jessica, to me, other than Paul, goes through the most interesting arc in this movie because in the first movie she was kind of just going through the motions. Like we knew she had some things about her, but fine. And then the movie ends, and she's just pregnant, and she's along for the ride with Paul. Fine. This movie starts, and the beginning it kind of carries over that. As soon as she drinks the water of life, it's like her character arc just did a 180.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, she is a whole different person now. And I walked out this movie like, yo, this woman is a menace.
Yeah.
This woman is a menace. Yo, I'm gonna call her a witch because she's
They,
you know
they when she walks when they walks in with Johnson's body, you hear everyone witch.
yeah. She's a freaking witch with all these weird powers. She's pregnant. She's got a demon child inside of her, telling her all these crazy things that's not even born yet.
Yeah,
saying, "Oh, we gotta kill them all."
yeah.
I'm like, "Yo!"
Basically, that's what she
Yeah.
said.
And then it's taken over her at points, like that when she leaves for the south, and she said something along the lines like, "Oh yeah, we'll see you there," and you just hear, "Oh, we all will." I was like, "Oh my Jesus
See
Christ!"
and that's what I'm talking about. Those little moments is just like she's talking to the one lady that's handling the little worm, and she's like, "Oh, there's a guy will come up and want this. You're gonna allow him to drink it?" And they're like, "Oh no, it's against the rule. We can't do this." She's like, and then you hear the voice, let him try. Like, oh my god, it's like, yo.
Speaking of that, I found it hilarious. Now they called it worm piss. I thought they were just exaggerating. Like, it's worm piss.
We don't see where it comes from first, right?
Yeah, we don't see. Yeah,
that it's actually worm piss. I laughed. I was like, "That's funny." It was like, "That's hilarious that it's actually worm piss. It's not just them being stupid."
Right.
The pacing in this movie, I want to talk about that because this was a big issue for me in the first movie that it slowly decreased, but I still kind of had this issue. That's why that movie is not quite a 5 out of 5 for me. It's 4.5. But I thought this movie the first time was paced wonderfully.
Mm-hmm.
The second time I watched this movie felt like an hour and a half.
Blue.
I was like, holy shit. By the time it got to Paul giving his speech and into the last 40 minutes, which is like one big, long third act, I was like, wow, we're here already. Like, it kind of feels like Scream when you see the car driving up to the house, you're like, oh, it's the third act. The pacing is so well, and I think the main reason for that is because we know who all these people are. The only people that we don't know who they are the people from the Emperor's side, and then obviously Fade. But we don't really need these big bold introductions for the people involved in the Emperor because they're basic people. What do I need to know about the Emperor? He tells us what we need to know. Oh yeah, I made the order to have House of Atreides killed. Okay, we know right off the bat this dude is out of his mind.
Right.
And then you see, Florence Pugh, she's kind of indifferent to all this.
Yeah.
She's
kind of in the middle. She doesn't know how to feel about any of this.
Well, I mean, I think we know how she knows how she's gonna feel by the end of this movie, and then we get the introduction to Fade, and we know everything we need to know about this character within his introduction sequence.
Yeah, oh my god.
Which I loved. And some people were like, oh, about 90 minutes in, the movie kind of just stops to go to this other character. What's the problem? We know and we know what's happening with Paul. That's fine. We needed that introductory scene because we needed that scene. Kind of reminds me of the ending. The same way Paul proved himself to be who he says he is, Fade had to do that too to the audience.
Right.
We hear, oh, he's psychotic. Okay, you can tell me anybody's psychotic. What does that mean?
We have to
see in this scene that he is psychotic and insane and he's a maniac.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I love the way he shot the scene. The score in this scene is phenomenal.
Yes.
And
I was watching. I was thinking about the score when he's walking in the arena. I'm like, yo, this score is awesome. Oh my goodness! Goodness gracious.
And we didn't really talk about how it looks, how it's black and white.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
the fact that it's a black sun that makes it black and white. Oh my god.
That's an amazing effect. I love that.
And I love that the fireworks are white, and that's the only color.
And they look like I said I'm talking. They like ink blocks. They like ink blocks.
It looks like the things from Arrival, the aliens from Arrival.
Yes, it does look like that animation from Arrival. Yeah. Oh man.
And then we also find out a lot of things in this movie that I really wasn't expecting to find out. Like, okay, we already talked about this, but yeah, the Emperor ordered the kill for House of Atreides, and it's like,
Leto,
damn,
to
like
kill Leto.
how, like, I guess House of Atreides really was the center of this universe. That
They was,
they,
they was about to take over.
I do.
it,
I'm
it
pretty.
kind of
I'm
puts
pretty.
into perspective, like, when they all, well, not they all, but really just Leto in general, when he falls, it kind of put the universe into chaos. That's what it
Yeah.
feels like anyway.
I think. I think it was also like I know he admitted to it because it was kind of like coercion, but I also think that earlier in the movie, the Bene Gesserit, Florence Pugh's character was like, "Oh, you ordered the kill. You guys are the one who was
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about
putting
Bene
all the
grandmother.
things
Gesserit
behind the
pulling
scene."
the
Yeah, the
strings.
Bene Gesserit. Yeah.
They pull
That-
the
that's-
strings.
the head Reverend Mother was just like, "Yeah, we did it because we knew
They were
that
getting too strong.
Paul was
Mhm.
they was getting too defiant. That's what the Atreides family was all about,
Mhm.
and that they need to be put down, especially if Paul is the one that's going to
Exactly.
get all this
Exactly.
insane power. They're just like, we got to
Exactly.
eliminate that bloodline."
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Mhm.
add on to that and what Tyler was saying as well, I think like it's not that the Emperor was crazy. I think that the Emperor is he's actually kind of aloof. He doesn't really
Mhm.
like want to
He's
be
susceptible.
bothered for real. Yeah,
He's
so he's
susceptible.
he's susceptible, he's malleable, which makes it easy for the Bene Gesserit to get in his head
Mhm.
and order him to or coerce him into murdering Duke Leto. And the thing about that is earlier in the movie he said that he loved him like a son.
Yeah.
So that even
Mhm.
further proves the manipulation of the Bene Gesserit, because if he had his way, he wouldn't have wouldn't have killed, maybe eventually, but he wouldn't have did it when he had did it. The only reason he
Right.
did it because the Bene Gesserit made him see that House Atreides was popular
Mhm.
amongst the other houses. It
Right.
wasn't necessarily because Leto wanted the throne. It was because he was a genuinely nice,
Good guy.
good person,
Yep.
and
Good person.
and the Empire loved it.
Yeah, so we said this off screen, but this is desert Game of Thrones, bro.
Yes. Yes.
Honestly, this is
Yes, sir.
desert
Yes,
Game of
sir.
Thrones.
And this is why I
Because
tell
there are
John, like,
so
John,
many
you just need to watch
parallels.
it, bro, because this is kind of like that. It's like that. It's like how
So
Game of
many
Thrones is.
parallels that these houses are doing anything that they can to get
To knock one off.
ahead and knock each other off, be the head in control, playing for the throne. And the Bene Gesserit is doing that. Harkonnen is doing that. And
Dune came first though.
Leto
right.
was
Yeah,
Ned
you're right.
Stark.
You're right. You're right.
Leto was Ned Stark.
And
Good-hearted.
Paul
And
Yeah.
Atreides is Daenerys Targaryen.
basically,
By the end of this movie,
Yep.
he's
Yep,
Daenerys
basically.
Targaryen.
without
He
giving
is-
spoilers.
Right.
He is someone who went through this journey with this culture that he didn't really know at this
Mhm.
point.
Right.
And by the end of the movie, he has become the villain of his heroic story. And
Mhm.
Chani is Jon Snow, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
sure.
definitely right about that.
I love it.
I say the Bene
movie
Gesserit is Cersei. I think the Bene Gesserit is Cersei, always trying to manipulate her way to the top, to the throne. She's happy behind the scenes as long as she's on the top.
Yeah.
The movie ended, and I was like, I am so okay with the fact that Paul is basically the villain at this point. I'm not mad about that at all. Speaking of the ending,
I feel like
well, there's one character I did want to talk about that we haven't talked about yet. It's Stilgard. We haven't talked about Stilgard. Oh my god! Like my brother, my brother asked me when we watched it, like, is this movie funny? Because I heard it's funny. I'm like, yeah, there's one specific character that makes the movie funny without it was supposed to be funny. He just
expect this
He
movie
just
to be
is.
as funny.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this movie to be
And
as funny as
I
it is.
think there's a reason for that, because I know a lot of people were like, oh, the first movie's boring. Nothing really happens. So Villeneuve was probably like, well,
You gotta bring something into this.
Now I don't know if the book is as humorous as the movie is, but they're like, you know what, Javier Bardem is kind of charming. We'll take this character and we'll kind of put a twist on the believing in the religion thing, and we'll make it funny. And because of that, I think it makes this movie a lot more digestible, because there's not such a long stretch of time of just, dialogue. There's also more action in this movie, but there's not a long stretch of nothing. There, every few minutes or so, you get a nice chuckle from Stilgar. Yeah, and it's kind of like
even when it's funny though, he's so serious with it too. Like there's a scene where he's talking to Paul about doing something. Obviously, like I think it's when he's telling him to go out to the desert. But when he's explaining certain things, it's funny, but he's serious at the same time when he's telling them, like,
"Oh, don't trust."
He said, "Don't trust the gin."
Yeah, don't trust the gin. And he go, like do a jump scare. Or even when he's like, he's telling Paul when he's about to ride this the big worm or whatever, and he's like, this is going to determine whether you're Fremen or you die. He just said it real quick, or you die. My theater laughed like that just because it was just so quick. It was like,
I liked when he was riding the sandworm and he was like, "Oh, don't do nothing fancy." He's like, "All right, cool." And he calls the worm. He's like, "Not that big."
Yeah. He called the grandfather worm.
Yeah. Which speaking of that, last year, I had said when we did these spoiler talks that my two favorite specific scenes in cinema last year. One was obviously the nuke going off in Oppenheimer. I think that was phenomenal. And then the other scene that came to mind was the cliff jump in Dead Reckoning. Yeah. I think that was one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen in my life in the theater. The scene where Paul rides the worm for the first time in this movie. The second time I watched it, I had tears in my eyes and I had chills. I was like,
breathtaking.
I am so glad I didn't see the scene beforehand either. I'm just so happy that it was a perfect scene. It is a perfect scene. It was just so epic. And I've listened to the score from that scene so many times.
Fantastic. Oh my God, man. The score and all the scenes like that. I specifically thought about the scene where they attack the Harkness ship for the first time, and they blow up the helicopter, or they blow up the dragonfly chopper, and they blow it up, and you see Chani running, and this number music until it drops, and then the music plays.
The music plays. Yes. Fantastic.
You just see the lasers.
I have a little bit
the ships. Oh man.
I have a little bit of a nitpick with the.
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
Why wouldn't you?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, so we see Stilgar riding the worm before Paul
does,
and I kind of wish that we just kind of got eased into that and we just saw Paul do it, because like I think it would just been a lot more sweeter. To the first person we see riding the worm in this movie is Paul. This is me.
But I mean, because in part one, the dude was riding it anyway.
Yeah, but I think what it is that
this movie specifically.
I think, but not even that. But I think the difference is that we see how he gets onto the worm, then we also see him leveling out onto the worm, and then we get the moment of him seeing from his point of view what it looks like to ride it. So we see him go over the dune, and when you see nothing but sand, I just think about that moment where we see it lift up and go down, and you see nothing. You see it from his point of view, the sky, like the skyline. And that's my main issue. That's why it's not a big issue for me.
I think I love that stuff. That's fantastic. I think one of the biggest things is we kind of have like a dialogue scene, and it's kind of like a moment of solitude. It's not like in your face or anything, and then we just cut to Stilgar on the sandworm. I'm like, so that's what we doing. Like we already on there.
And then it's weird, yeah, because you thought it was going to be that scene where he learned how to ride the worm, right? But it's not. Like,
Yeah,
that's not
I
even
was
the same
wanting
scene.
to-
That's the scene where
I was wanting
where
to-
Johnny and Paul get together. That's the first scene. That's that scene.
Right. And I was just wanting to see like that everything that happened with Paul riding the sandworm. I just wanted that.
Yeah.
I didn't want anything else. But you know, it's
I
a
can
nitpick.
understand that.
It's a nitpick.
I can get with I can get with that though. I understand.
The action in this movie, you know, a lot of people, oh, there's no action in the first movie. It's just a bunch of talking. First of all, the attack sequence in the second act is one of the greatest action sequences I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know what you're talking about, but seek help. For everyone that complained, disrespectfully so, or distastefully so, because that movie is almost perfect. You get what you were complaining about in this movie. The first like 45 to an hour of this movie is actually a lot of action because you get the opening action sequence, which was amazing, and then I think about like 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes after that, that's when they take down
the first Harkonnen harvesting ship.
Yeah.
The harvester,
which I love the setup because you see the little like their like breathing things out.
Their breathers, yeah.
You see the little desert mouse come up to it and touch it. When I first saw it, I'm like, what the hell is
what is that?
I thought it was like mines. I thought it was like bombs or something. I thought it was bombs. Like, okay, they're gonna blow up the bottom of it, and that's there. No, this is, and I didn't catch it until the second time. You hear Paul say, "Get away." You hear Paul say, "Move," or say like, "Move," and I'm like, "Oh, he's under. That's them under. He's underground." And I'm like, "Okay."
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? We never see them go down into the sand to get under there.
I don't care because seeing them,
we don't know. I'm not saying it's needed. I'm
seeing
just
them
saying.
rise up and just take
they over here at they over here at night. Come on,
right? I'm not saying
how they buried
I'm just
themselves.
saying.
How did they bury themselves?
Listen,
they got secret
AJ,
tunnels underneath the sand, bro.
Listen, AJ, the same way that you're wondering, like, oh, how they get under the sand? I just want to know, like, when they start riding those sandworm, like, how did they get all the people up there?
Yeah. How do you get everyone
that one little
there?
carriage of Lady Jessica? Like, how did they get that up there?
Yes.
Because it's like they didn't do that while it was moving. They had to get it to stop somehow. They got it in its sleep.
But they never showed him stopping. It was just straight moving.
They was running it. They was running on the sand dune, bro.
Clip.
They found it sleeping in the desert. Come on, shh.
Do the sand walk. Do the sand walk. We had
do the sand
walk.
I love the scene where we first meet Josh Brolin's character again. Which I got, funnily enough, so I saw last Tuesday, I got to see Tenet in 70mm. I got the chance to do it again, which was fucking awesome, by the way. And that movie is a masterpiece, by the way. I saw this movie. I saw Dune, digital IMAX at the premiere, and then 70mm. I saw it yesterday. Both were amazing. I saw this scene technically twice in 70mm because they played this scene before Tenet.
Okay.
And it was weird because there was no transition, no nothing. Like it showed the IMAX logo, and I was like, okay, the movie's about to start. And then it cuts to Dune, and I was like, wait, what the hell? I was like, oh, I guess there's a sneak peek of Dune before the thing, and that's what it was. I was like, all right, that's neat. Which that's kind of funny because when Tenet came out, they showed the teaser trailer for Dune before that, which was neat. But this scene was awesome. I really like this. I like how Gurney he walks out and he's like, man, I'm gonna take all of y'all on, and they all jump up.
The scene you see him walking towards, and you see them just get all of them in unison get out of the sand.
Yeah.
Oh, that shot is so great. That's a great shot, man. I just think it's just awesome that they just literally take flight as they get out of the sand. Like they literally rise up, and they're just taking flight. And they're sprinting towards you. Like I just think that is the way that's choreographed is awesome.
It's scary, honestly. Like, could you imagine somebody just popping up out the ground and just sprinting towards you?
Wait.
Not a light jog. sprinting.
What he said? I recognize your footsteps, old man.
Old man.
I love
Yeah.
that moment. That moment
the
was great.
second
That moment was
time,
great. Yeah, that moment was great.
right here, the second time.
That's all. That shit was great.
I want to talk about the villain side of this movie because we haven't really touched on it.
Yeah, the Harkonnens.
Stellan Skarsgård is great as the Baron once again. He gets more to do in this one than he did in the last one. I liked Christopher Walken as the Emperor. He doesn't get much to do, but I really liked him when he was there, especially at the ending when he was kind of standing his ground. I really liked that. Austin Butler as Fade. So I had heard people say that Sting was actually really good as Fade in the original. He was one of like the highlights of that movie. I still have not seen it yet. I plan to eventually, now that I've seen both parts, because I didn't want to get spoiled by the second half of this movie.
Me too.
So I really liked Austin Butler. I thought he was great. You know, I've seen some people say, "Oh, he needs an Oscar." I don't know about all that.
I don't know about that.
But he was still really good.
But
he was still really good.
He did a really good job. I love that
think
he
he
did
did
the
a
thing with his
solid
voice. He made his voice sound like
like
Skarsgård's character. Yeah, he's made it sound like him too.
And again, he just has this.
That's his idol, bro.
He just has this great presence, you know, when he first shows up, and then in the fight
Same
scene.
guy. That's the same person who played Elvis.
I do wish
Played
now
Elvis.
this doesn't make the movie worse for me, but I do wish he did a little bit more because I feel like he had the great opening scene,
Same thing.
and then he had a really good scene with Léa Seydoux' character, who was amazing in this movie, by the way. And then
I follow her too.
Yeah. And she has one of my favorite scenes in the movie, but I really like
I just think
Put
that
your
whole
hand in the
scene,
box. I was like, okay.
that whole scene is just so. I just love the way it's shot. Like to me, that whole sequence is fire. That whole sequence of the seduction, like the seduction of it, man. Like just. That whole scene was fire, man, and not knowing that she was not the moment that she was about to put him through a test, the pain test as well.
Did y'all know that she was Bene Gesserit up until she said that? I didn't know that until she was until he was like, "Yeah, you're Bene Gesserit."
I knew she was.
I just assumed she was.
I assumed she was because they're in the box and watching his performance.
Right.
They all walk in.
Yeah,
the second hello sisters or something like that.
The second time I watched it, I was like, I should have known this because she's talking to the ladies up there.
Right.
And then, like, you know, he's acting creepy and weird and stuff. I'm like, I should have known this. But the first time I watched it,
what you constitute as freaky, creepy and weird, I constitute as a little freaky, and I'm okay with that.
It was. I like the comedic moment afterwards after she made that test with Fade. It was immediately cut to the Bene Gesserit. She was just like,
Yes.
"Oh, so what was your?" Oh yeah, so he's weak to seduction.
Yeah,
he's weird.
I'm just like,
Seduction.
okay.
The
No,
child
the
has
part
been
that got
secured.
me,
And I'm pregnant.
yeah, the
back
bloodline's been
the back has
secured.
been
I said,
secured.
Bloodline's been secured.
I was like, either you have a fast way of tracking that, or you're mighty confident in yourself.
Well, they say
Yeah,
that the
there's
Bene
some
Gesserit
Bene
can
Gesserit
they can do
tricks.
that. They can
Yeah.
change
They know
or they can
stuff.
determine whether or not they can do certain things with their bodies. So like the
Yeah,
fact that
bro.
Lady Jessica had a son was against their morals or whatever,
Right.
because she was supposed to have a daughter, but he wanted a son. So
Back
Yeah,
to
that's not
Fade,
fair.
That's
like
because
again,
yeah.
I like his
Go ahead.
intro. a
Hold
lot.
on, Tyler. Before you get out of here, before you continue, I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta get up early for work. But it has been wonderful joining you guys again for Nerd Talk.
yes,
AJ, Kevin, Alex, Tyler, you guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. I'll see y'all later.
all right,
Thank you,
John.
sir.
Thank you for
See
joining,
you,
man.
man.
Yeah.
All right.
I like Fade's intro, and I like the scene with Lacey do a lot, but I feel like he has some nice other scenes later, but I feel like by the time his fate was met, I was kind of just like, well, dang.
Yeah,
Like he has a great
yeah.
fight scene with Paul, but like
I get what you mean.
I wish he did he's supposed to take over Batista's role. Like,
Right.
fine.
Mhm.
Which I did
But-
want to talk about him after we're done talking about.
But like I feel
Yeah, we
like
didn't talk
he
about
didn't really take over that role. Like
Mhm.
in the end, he was still in the back.
Right.
You know,
Even in the scene in the throne, he was still in the back. He was still in the back behind.
I think it would have been help that how we saw Fade kind of like destroy a bunch of cut the shit out with the Fremen fighting back. He was just like, all right, we gotta shut that shit down. I think what would have worked. Now this would be like a 2-3 minute scene, so it wouldn't affect the runtime, wouldn't affect the pacing, and I think this would have been a perfect fit if he pulls up to the Fremen hideout where they were all chilling at. And then we saw him murk everyone. Now that wouldn't showcase his power, but we already saw that in the beginning, his intro. So we just need to see him do more. And I think just adding that would have done wonders for his character. Other than that, I don't think there's anything wrong with how he's been utilized. If we just saw 2-3 minutes of just him murdering all those Fremen and destroying that little place, that's kind of all we needed to know. So
so most of that is done off screen.
Yeah. I think that with Fade, if he was introduced earlier in the movie and he was pretty much the villain throughout the entire film, that would have worked better for his arc. And he's constantly trying to chase the Fremen. I think that would have been great for his arc, and it would have given us more of him that we kind of long for. And that's how I felt. And I was like, either that or have it be the same and he be in the third part. But that's not happening. So
now you say that we need more of him. I think that the whole movie didn't really require him to be there. I think that one of the this is a kind of story where it's the villains are just everywhere. I don't think there's any one particular villain. I don't think Fade is the main villain. I don't think that
because we still have Batista still as well. He was doing a lot of stuff in the beginning. Obviously, he was failing the most of the time. That's why Fade got introduced. But we still had Batista's character. Well, Robin. Let me call it Robin. We had him doing all the stuff in the beginning of the movie. So I did want to talk about that sequence too, when he's with his group of people. And they're trying to, get Paul or whatever. And they bombed a part of a mountain and they drop down. I love that the sound design is so loud, but then they drop down and it's all quiet. And they're walking through the dust. And you see, I'm guessing this Paul going around just murking everybody. I don't know if it was Paul. I felt like it wasn't just
that other Fremen. Was fucking nuts.
Yo, that sequence it's just like they're ninjas. They're ninjas taking everybody. Yeah. And then you see Paul walking out in the distance and you see Batista's face so petrified when he see them walking towards him. And then you get the shot of them running towards their ships and you see the explosions in the background. It's just and then the music pops on when he jumps onto the ship. I'm like, oh man. That entire sequence was so fire.
So I want to talk about Batista actually, because if I did have one nitpick with this movie, it would be him. Now I love Batista. He's one of my favorite actors. I think he is by a landslide the best wrestler turned actor easily. John Cena's getting up there, but Batista to me is the one that Batista has range. He can do Drax, but he can also do something like Knock at the Cabin, which I thought he was excellent in.
So much diversity.
And I like him as this character, but I feel like they cranked him up a little too much in this movie. His first scene in this movie,
the scene when he knocks the dude's head in. Oh, kill all the rats! All the rats must die.
I was like, was that supposed to be?
You need a chill pill, bro.
I think it was supposed to be funny. I think it was supposed to be.
I was like, what? Did he get a call from Pennywise? I thought about it.
I
thought about it. Kill them all.
I thought it was a little much for me, and then after that he kind of I liked him more in the first movie, because in the first movie he was like a threat. He was like, I'm gonna mess y'all up. This movie I didn't really think he was a threat, and I don't know if that was the point.
That was the point. Well, that was definitely the point.
He's supposed to look weak so Fade can take over his role.
That and he got power and he was just not good with it. He was a fighter. He was not. He wasn't meant to be a governor of the Arrakis. He wasn't meant to be oh yeah, we're gonna make you rule over Arrakis while me, the Baron, is gonna still be a Harkonnen.
His job was to get Spice. His job was to make sure Spice was in control.
Yeah,
and I also think that was also. I think he was also supposed to contrast Fade, because Batista's character was all talk and he couldn't do much. But Fade was quiet. Like he was a psychopath, but we knew that he was quiet, he was calculated, and he knew where to strike so that they can get the spice production back up and running. This wasn't just like, oh yeah, we gotta fight the Fremen. No, we're gonna obliterate their home in the northern spot and just force them down south because we know we're probably not gonna survive down south. But if we can keep up the production up here in the north, that's all we gotta do. So we obliterate that area, and then boom, we're done. So I think that was just meant to contrast Batista's character.
Another nitpick that I had. Now, somebody said that there might be scenes like trimmed or missing. One scene that I definitely feel that with was the fight between him and Gurney. I felt like that was so short. And I was kind of disappointed by that. It didn't necessarily bother me the second time, but even still, like, Gurney was talking about the whole time. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get him back." He's like, "You're mine, and I'm gonna get him back." And he comes up, and like you get this awesome shot where he comes up, and they start fighting, and he just folds him in like 30 seconds. I was
when I watched the first time, I didn't think it was that fast, and then I watched it the second time, like, man, that was like 5 seconds of them just going stab.
It's like, bro,
that dialogue, the dialogue he said was a little cringe
for my dude and my friends.
Like,
he couldn't have said my friends. He could have just said for my dude. And that was it. He didn't say my friends.
I was like, it would have been cool. It would have been cool to have a fight like Fade and Paul did with those two.
See, but that's why I was about to combat what you were saying is that we're setting up the fight between them two to have two big fights back to back like that.
Yeah, you don't want to take away from.
You don't want to take away from that fight. Like, and I agree. It should have been longer. But I'm thinking,
I agree too.
We know that Robin is at a point. He was literally about to run away. He was about to leave. Like he was not in it. So that's why I think also why it was so fast, because Gurney was already in fighting mode. He was literally murking guys. He was literally, I'm gonna do a Walking Dead mode. He was in a Rick mode when he was taking out walkers. He was literally just annihilating everybody to get to him. And Robin was just chilling. So
I don't know. The movie already made him look like a bum, and then when he died like that, I was like, well, if he wasn't a bum before, he certainly is a bum now. Like, and I guess that was the point, but I don't know. That kind of bugged me out. What we haven't talked about yet, I started too early. I guess we got sidetracked. Paul and Jessica's lineage.
Yeah, they're Harkonnens, bro.
I got confused at first because I thought that I don't know what I thought. I thought that Fade was. I thought Fade. I thought Fade and Paul were brothers, so I was just like,
no, they're cousins.
When he said cousin, I was like, excuse me. I think I misinterpreted a lot of things, but
he's an uncle. The Baron is his uncle.
Like
the Baron is Paul's grandfather.
I'm not entirely like. I don't want to say surprised because I was surprised when they said it, but like in hindsight, I don't think it's like, oh my god, it's such a big reveal to like us, the audience, because we already known throughout the rest of the movie that the Bene Gesserit were like, oh yeah, we're gonna manipulate everything. We're also gonna manipulate lineages. We're gonna manipulate, we're gonna have Jessica fall in love with Leto, and then they're gonna birth allegedly a daughter, but Lady Jessica was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. We're gonna get a son. If we get another kid, I'll make her the daughter.
Yeah, but and she's about to have a daughter. And here she comes. Here she comes.
There's a reason why men weren't supposed to be born out of Bene Gesserit.
Yeah. So, like, in hindsight, it's not entirely as shocking, but like the first time, just like, yo, what the fuck? It actually didn't hit me until the second time that Lady Jessica didn't know that fact.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say too. She's even though she thinks she's in control, she's still a pawn at the end of the day.
Yeah,
she was taken away from her family too. Like she didn't even know that was her father. So it's like like she's still a pawn too.
That was a crazy thing. That was a crazy thing, and I think that's what made the shift for Paul, where he was just like, you know what. You're gonna fuck with me and all that. You're gonna continue to fuck with me. There are lies everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what? maybe I don't need to be an Atreides for the situation.
Yeah,
Let me be Harkonnen for the situation.
Yep, yep. I'm about to
And
rule it
that's
just
when
like
he-
you guys rule.
Yeah.
Use that to
So
our advantage.
yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I think it was a great twist for me. Yeah.
So we haven't talked about Chani really much yet. I really like her story a lot because she, like you guys mentioned earlier, she doesn't necessarily buy into all of this, but she does feel something for Paul. You know, obviously she does feel something for him. I love, and now it started even before the ending. It started when he gave that speech in the cave. And she was like, "No, he's out of his fucking mind."
Yeah.
And she literally tells Jessica, she's like, "I'm not fighting for him. I'm fighting for my people. Like he's a maniac, but I'm not gonna leave my people. Like they're my people, you know." I love the part where, you know, fast forwarding to the end after he kills Fade, which was amazing, by the way. That fight was awesome. No music.
No music.
No
music.
Yes.
Um,
Best way to have a fight
I
scene.
love the scene where he tells Florence Pugh, "Oh, I'll take your hand and we'll rule the empire together." I was like, "Holy shit!"
The
And that's the
theater
beginning of his
literally,
villain arc.
the theater literally gasped. You can hear a gasp in the theater once he said it, because we knew Chani she obviously is in the room and she can see everything that's going on. And like I said, that moment before, he tells her, "I'm gonna love you."
Yeah, I caught that
to my
the
last
second
breath.
I'm gonna love you till my last breath. And then the next moment, he comes to the emperor and say, "I will take your daughter's hand in marriage, and we're gonna rule."
We knew
the
what he
empire."
was doing.
Then when you see her face and you see her like kind of like swallow all that, you literally see her throat go like she just swallowed everything in and have to hold it. Like, wow, did I
That
just
was
literally
funny
hear
as
that?
fuck to me.
And I guess that was to like basically show Chani that this is a business transaction. But she don't care. Like
that's what I'm saying.
You told me
that
you're gonna
moment,
love me to your last breath, and then
in
walk
that
away
moment,
with
it's not about transactions. But at this point,
I think
I have true feelings for you, but you gonna
Also,
go marry this other woman? Like that's fucked up.
Side note,
think
for the record, Paul has a quite good taste in women. Just saying. And I think he made the right choice. Just saying.
I mean, if you want to go back to other films he's been in too. I mean, shit, he pulled Jennifer Lawrence. So I mean, it don't look like
Jennifer Lawrence, Zendaya, Florence Pugh, Timothée Chalamet, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. He was with Florence Pugh in Little Women too.
Yeah.
Twice.
Twice.
Damn it.
You know what I think of the irony behind like Paul's journey? Because I want to segue to that because it kind of relates to Chani. When Chani was seeing the change in Paul, the irony for me is that I think Paul we could have reached a similar result, like I don't know, emperor status result, but I think we could have seen the same sort of like he takes back Arrakis if he just never drank the water of life. Like he was leading, like being the Lisan al Gaib. He was being that guy in the completely different sense of the word. Like he was being humble. He was trying to get these people to fight. He was inspiring them too. But then once we got that switch in his character, it was kind of like a forced thinking.
But I think he needed the water though, because he had the ability to foresee, but his vision was blurred. So it was like he had visors on and he finally took the visors off to see exactly what his purpose was. Like, of course, he had the ambition to do everything he wanted to do, but he needed that push. He needed that foresight to be able to do everything he was able to do. I don't think if he didn't drink that water, he wouldn't have commanded that room like he commanded that room. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not saying
he
that
wouldn't be able to do everything he was able to do.
I'm not saying that, we're going to reach the same result that quickly, because if we're looking at the same time span, we're probably still like fighting all these random sand dusters, and he's probably going to be like, oh, how are we going to figure out a way around this new ruler from Harkonnen? So I think, like, my point was that, we could have reached the same result in terms of him freeing Arrakis, but I don't think we reached the same. But I think not only did he get the push,
Not
but it
yeah.
kind of like forceful manipulation. Like he was just like, you know what? I can't even do things my own way. I can't do things the way I want to. I want to lead these guys. I want to inspire them. I want to make sure that they believe in their cause. But he's been pushed so much to the edge, not by his sister, his mother, the prophecy, the hearkening too. Because if that wasn't blown up, the base in North, he wouldn't be forced to go to the South.
He
and
wouldn't
take
have to
the
go to the
North.
South. Yeah.
So many things pushed him over to the edge that he came to a decision that he was just like, you know what? If you're gonna force everything onto me, if you're gonna force all of this, if I can't do things my way, I'm just gonna take that and just put it on me. This will be my thing now. You want to make this prophecy and call me the Lisan Agai? I'll be that guy. I'll be the guy. I'll be like, but I'll not do it for the reasons you want to.
Right.
I'll do it because I'm gonna command a mass army. I'm not gonna use it to free Arrakis. I'm gonna use it to rule the universe.
Right.
I'm gonna use it to be the emperor.
Yeah.
Well, what else? Like that another point with like the Harkonnen, he was just like, yo, I can't be an Atreides for this. I'll just be a Harkonnen. If you're gonna force this Harkonnen lineage on me, I'll be the Harkonnen for you. If you're gonna force all these visions on me that these people are gonna die, Chani might be fucked up because apparently a nuke went off, which is
that scene
really
when we
interesting
see
thing.
her face burned. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'd expect to see
like
that.
He'll be like, you know what? If this is gonna happen, I'm gonna make it happen, but I'm gonna be in control of all of this. So I think that this is what the main Reverend Mother was talking about, where she was just like, this is gonna be someone we can't control. He's gonna have this crazy force, he's gonna have these crazy powers from the Bene Gesserit. We're not gonna be able to control this. And that's why she wanted to take down the Atreides, because she had the Atreides kind of trait to not be defiant, but also now you have this guy with all this power, so you're just like, yo, we gotta shut that shit down quick, because look what Paul's done and what he probably will do, and I'm very interested in how that transfers. Unfortunately, we were spoiled by how big of a time jump between Dune Part 2 and Dune Messiah.
Yeah.
And
It's
that
gonna be weird because that makes me think I don't believe they can't recast. I don't think they can do that to make them a lot older. I don't know if they're gonna do the aging thing. I don't know. It's gonna be weird whether or not they're actually gonna do that. I believe that they're not going to do the time jump. At least I don't believe they are. It just wouldn't make sense for the actors. I just don't think it makes sense.
Who knows? Maybe they'll all have Finn Wolfhard growth spurts. I don't know, bro.
Denis did say, well, first of all, he said that Dune Messiah wasn't going to be his next movie. So that you can add like 3 or 4 years on top of like how
right.
You have to add how long it takes for him to make his next movie. Right. That's if the second movie after is going to be Dune Messiah. It could very well be his third movie after this.
Exactly.
So like if we wait like 5 to 6 years, which I think is a perfect time period, I think that's fine in terms of making that 12-year time jump.
Man, that's tough.
Because first of all,
that's gonna be crazy to think.
That's gonna be.
I don't want to think that long, man. I don't want to think that. Because the first one came out 2021, and now it's 2024, and technically it's supposed to come out at the end of 2023. So technically we have to wait 3 years for this movie. Like
I think that these actors. First of all, this movie was filmed in 2022, so we're already reaching 2 years since it was starting to film, and on top of that, you got 5 to 6 years. That's like 8 years since the filming of Part 2.
Yeah,
I think that's a good enough time jump where you're just like,
I don't think they're gonna wait.
It's gonna be believable that these people aged 12 years.
I don't know.
It's gonna be very. He's not gonna film it. He said that's not gonna be his time, unless Warner Brothers just like force his hand and be like, "Motherfucker, this movie's making us $1 billion."
They're not gonna want to do that, man.
Better make this shit.
You'll have Denis be like, "Nope, I'm throwing the script away. You guys got to start over. I'm not making it.
I'm not the director.
Computer.
I got the power now. I'm Paul. I'm Paul.
I'm feeling it'll be like the day after he releases his next movie, and Warner Bros. Is gonna be knocking down on his door and be like, "Excuse me, good sir, where's that Messiah movie? We want that shit out."
Yeah. I hope they don't wait too long, because I don't want it to be a case where people have scheduling conflicts, and then it's like, well, these people actually can't shoot during this time. Unless these people were like, man, screw what I'm doing Doom. Like,
Yeah.
well,
Dude,
I'm not
Dune's gonna
doing
make
it.
them bank. Like, who's gonna in 12-year time jump? Who's gonna come back? Like, come on, these guys are gonna come back. It's easy money for
And it's
them.
gonna be crazy to
It's
think they're
gonna-
gonna do a large time jump like that. I don't know. The reason why I say I don't know if that makes sense because the way they did this movie. Because I know, like I said, in the source material, the daughter is already born. She's already a living being in the book. I did read that she's technically she's in the story, not just as a inside the womb. She is born and everything. So the fact that
And
they
it's
changed
nuts.
that significant
Yeah.
detail is that made me think that he's gonna change something else for this next movie or this next story.
I think they're still
Speaking of
gonna
that daughter, Anya Taylor-Joy is
Yeah.
the daughter, which is kind of nuts. I had kind of forgotten that she was going to be in the movie. So when she showed up, I was like, hey, like
You'll
know,
see her
being
twice
that-
this year. You can see her twice this year.
This might be an odd thing because 12 years, she's probably only gonna be like 12 or 11. But imagine if like he extends the time jump
But see,
a little
but
bit,
but
so
that
that
that's
they
the
can make it believable.
that's the thing too is that since she ingested the poison, she grows like significantly fast. So it's like
I think her mind has already been
yeah,
born
like her
that.
mind
I
is
think
very
physically.
yeah.
So it would be funny that instead of 12 years, she's gonna be like, let's make it 15, maybe 17. So it's believable that we can just
Yeah.
get Anya Taylor-Joy back. Because imagine Anya Taylor-Joy in the position that she would be in. I don't know, Messiah like that. A change that I heard about the books that I want to touch on because it goes back to our Chani point is that Chani in the books was apparently like she was completely believed in the Messiah thing.
She's
in the
by
Lisa
she's
Nagami.
by
She was
by his side though.
yeah, she was just
she's
like
with him throughout the entire thing.
unquestionable faith, which I think is a phenomenal change because we need a character in this book. Now, I don't know if the book had a character, but for the movies, we need a character that's just like, yo,
that just ain't with
this
it.
isn't right. Like this isn't how you're doing things isn't right. We needed that conflict, especially in the religion aspect. You can't just have one side being like, oh yeah, this is our religion. We believe in Lisa Nagai. We believe you are the Lisa Nagai. No, we need a different side. Chani fit that perfectly, and I love that change. That's the one change that when I heard about it, I was just like, that was perfect. This isn't like, I don't know how people will react to this. That was a perfect change. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, because in the beginning, she's with him because he just wanted to learn the ways. He says he doesn't want to be the Messiah. He doesn't want to be the leader. He doesn't want to do that. He just want to be a Fremen. So that's why she accepts him. But once she sees him building up to that status, that's where she started questioning his morals and what he actually wants. To me, I think about the scene where they're in the tent and he's talking about the arsenal and they have a one-on-one moment. It's like, you still don't believe me about, I want this for us. And he says, do you trust me? And she just has a look like, I don't know. I'm not going to smile. I'm not going to say yes. I'm just going to give you a look. And it's all in her eyes. Like Zendaya is acting her ass off with her eyes and her facial expressions. Oh man, she just looks like she's not with this throughout this entire movie. And I am all for it.
I guess we've talked about pretty much everything, with this movie. So now I want to get into what we think is going to happen in Messiah. I don't think anything that I've theorized over the past week is actually going to happen because I was talking to Luke Reviews, who I love. That's my guy. He's very much into Dune. And I told him what I thought was gonna happen. He's like, yeah, don't get excited for that because that's probably not gonna happen. So I was I was just theorizing that I thought Dune Messiah was pretty much gonna be season 8 of Game of Thrones, where it was the person that we all thought was the hero is actually the villain of the whole thing, and the person who loves them has to kill them. That could still very much happen. I would not mind it if Chani is the one that takes Paul down. Now, what happens to the role that Paul is playing right now, I have no idea. In terms of his hierarchy, I don't know what happens with that. I don't know who would take over it. Doom Messiah is going to be very interesting because you have, Paul obviously, but Lady Jessica is also a big factor into all. balanced. I think when she goes down, he goes down. That's basically how that's gonna go. Where Chani's gonna fit into all this, I don't know. Maybe she divides up the Freemen, Civil War style.
But it's also weird because there's a scene where Lady Jessica and Paul are having a conversation. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry about Chani," and he says, "Oh, she'll come around. I've seen it." But then he also says in the same sentence, I've seen multiple things, and I love the way the shot that they show his hand, and he says, "But there's a narrow path," and you just see his hand literally just like there's a narrow way, and I love in that same shot we see him stab. We see the stabbing of Fate, but we don't know exactly in context what that means. But I love that line of dialogue. It's like I've seen many futures where our enemies win, but there's a narrow way I can steer to make it the right way.
And we've seen things in the first movie that still have not happened. We've seen him get stabbed by Chani. That hasn't happened yet. We don't know if that will happen.
I don't think. I think most of that stuff I think in the first movie was things that were foreseeable futures that weren't supposed to happen, because the knife that he got stabbed with was the one that he used against Jamis. Also, Jamis was the one talking to him, giving him guidance, and it wasn't him. It was technically, I guess, Stilgard filled that role, was the one that was guiding him and teaching him the ways. So, and that goes back to what Paul said. I've seen many outcomes, but I have to see what's going to be the right outcome. But then also we seen the scene with them in Caladan, with them on that ship, with them like looking down at them celebrating. We didn't see that, and that was in the first movie. But also Jamis was on the ship behind him, so it's like I don't know. It's like it's a lot. I do like that. I'm a little upset we didn't get more visions like we did in this movie leading to the next movie. But maybe that wasn't the point.
I have another nitpick.
As
usual.
AJ was gone for like 30 minutes. Now he comes in with a nitpick.
I come back with a nitpick. There with his visions of the famine or whatever, it felt like a lot of reused like footage. And most used is the person on the ground like screaming. And I wish there was like a variation. I wish there was a variation of
different
visions. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And seeing people in the famine and stuff like that.
But that's the point, though. He's supposed to be seeing the same vision, and it's supposed to be getting clearer and clearer.
That's the point.
It's not. It wasn't. It was like same reused image, same reused footage.
No, it wasn't. The first time you saw it, it was blurry, and then you see it again, and you see the person who's Lady Jessica. You see her.
Okay, well, that's the part, but that's the part that gets clear. But they use the same person that is screaming on the ground with the bald head. We've seen that over and over again. But that was just a nitpick of mine with the visions. Something that John did say, I know you're not here to defend himself, but something that I guess have maybe a different perspective on is when he's saying that Paul he always knew what the outcome was going to be, and he was calculating it from the start. I believe when he drank the water of life, that's when he started becoming a lot more calculated, and he had a clear vision. I don't believe when he was trying to learn from the Fremen, he was playing them the whole time. I think he started kind of like playing. I
don't know though, because there's a conversation that he has with Lady Jessica right before when they get to the siege or whatever, right? And he was like, look what even though he says it in this type of way, like, look what your Bene Gesserit has propaganda has become. Some people believe, but some people don't. But I have to get them to believe that I am that guy. He said that I have to get them to believe. So I think in his mind, he do believe that he is that guy, because he has to make them believe that he is. Even though he tell them that he don't want that, but I do believe in his mind that he does.
I think beforehand, yes. And then after
But
he drinks the water of life, it becomes more. It becomes more of a personal thing. I think he wants to free the Freeman and everything like that beforehand, but it starts to become a more selfish agenda after he takes the water of life, because if he truly wanted to free the Fremen, he wouldn't have just used them as his personal army and then took the Empress hand. He would have married or took Chani as his wife and created a hierarchy and a empire with the Fremen ruling. But he went and did it the old way, and took the Empress's hand.
But he talked about doing that in part 1 though. He talked about doing that in part 1 before.
Taking the Empress's hand?
Yes. He says the Emperor has a daughter, right? Like, I know exactly how I can do this. And then talk about what you're gonna go, you're gonna you're gonna try to take the throne, and there's nothing said after that. Like, there's nothing said after that line of dialogue, because obviously there's a fight about to happen or whatever. But he talks about that, a way to get to the Emperor, but he has a daughter that I can marry as well. So
I just don't understand why he wouldn't take Chani's hand and rule with her, since he has this ability.
It's about the power, bro. He married Chani. What power does he have?
Exactly.
He can still have that power.
But then
not
also,
really,
Lady Jessica says again. He says when before she leaves to the south, the daughter actually says, I guess that's what she says. She says, "You're blinded by love. You have to save your hand for a more higher up. You can't be with Chani."
He marries Chani, and in the eyes of the galaxy, Chani's a bum.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who cares though? He's the one.
No, it don't matter.
It's about bloodline at the end of the day.
Here's my
it's about the bloodline. That's what it's about. It's like Game of Thrones.
My perspective,
nah, bro.
It's like Game of Thrones.
I don't agree with that.
Listen.
It's like Game of Thrones, bro.
Listen, if Daenerys Targaryen showed up with Jason Momoa in Westeros, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I want all the power," seriously, would have been like, "Man, get out of here, bro."
No,
like, who are you, bro?
If she showed up with the one,
she would have sicked the dragons on him.
If she showed up with the one dude that she was messing with, and she left him a Marine. If he showed up with him, it would have been the same thing. He's nothing. He's he's a muscle.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. The point is, if she showed up with anybody other than Jon Snow, it's like, bro, what? Like, who are you, bro?
My perspective is that, like, him marrying people is just to feed his own agenda, but I don't think that, like, I don't think his agenda when it comes to freeing the Fremen originally was going to end with him becoming emperor. Like, in my personal opinion, I think that if he stuck by like the original kind of like his own vision was that he's gonna free himself, he's gonna free the Fremen, he's gonna take revenge against the Harkonnen, and then that was that. He'll just lead the Atreides family, and that'll be that. The Fremen probably have their own kind of business to deal with.
Yeah,
he'll probably just once again take control over it, just to take control of the spice production. But other than that, that was just pretty much it. But it was after that switch was flipped, where he was just like, "No, I'm gonna take it all. Like, I'm gonna take everything."
Why does he have to be emperor? Why does he have to be emperor? He could dismantle the government.
It's because he knew that's just
as we know, the houses didn't agree, so that's why they about to go to war.
Yeah,
they didn't agree.
To go to war, right? But he didn't.
We
don't even have to come to that. It didn't even have to come to that. But he got greedy.
Yeah. He should have just said, like, first I need to talk to the houses, because the emperor basically put a hit on my family, and I'm still alive, so technically it's true because I'm still here, and my father and everyone in the Atreides is dead. This nigga don't need to be emperor.
You know where
this nigga out of here.
You know how, like, perceiving the difference between flip the switch. It's because when he spoke to the emperor for the first time, he was just like, "Yo, imagine if I tell all these houses and the rest of the universe, like, what you did to me."
And he doesn't.
Imagine if I tell them that. No, he didn't tell them that.
He
He
just
didn't tell
said-
them anything. He was
he
just
just
like,
said,
back
I'm gonna-
off,
he just said,
stay
I'm
away
gonna-
from this conflict,
I'm-
or I'll kill y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow up
Yeah,
this
he
spice
said, "Kiss
field.
the ring."
I'm gonna blow up everything. I'm gonna
said,
use my
"Kiss the
nukes to
ring."
blow up everything.
Kiss the ring.
So,
First of all, that shot when they launched the nukes, at the fields, and you see the shot, the explosion, and you see Timothy Chalamet just standing there. Amazing shot, fucking incredible.
I will say,
I can't get that out of my head.
I want to get back to what Tyler asked because Alex and Tyler, you both answered that question. I want to answer it myself, like what I think is going to happen.
Oh yeah,
there were two particular scenes from the first movie that did not show up in the second movie. Now I'm pretty sure this is due to just it not happening yet. But one scene was Paul fighting on Arrakis. I don't know if it was an Emperor base or behind it. I might have to check again. In my mind, I thought it was one of the worms. So I'm just like,
one of the worms.
Worm behind him. And then he shows up in this yellow kind of armor that we don't see in this movie in the second part. Well, and then we see the max unfold and we see him. So that's one thing.
Well, we kind of get that scene with Chani. Chani replaces that scene. We see her fighting. Where we seeing her fight through all the Emperor's army, and she's doing all the flips and fights, and then it's her that's fighting, not.
That's
that was before. Yeah, go ahead.
That's why I was like, okay, if this was like the Emperor thing, maybe you kind of have a point, Alex. But it was just like, if that's a worm behind him, the worm wasn't behind Chani at any point in the second.
No,
it was actually in front of her.
That's what I'm saying. That's why that goes back to the visions not being clear, though. Like not clear. That could be another outcome.
Like I said, that could be one point. There were two other scenes because I forgot there was a third one. The other one was. Now, what we know is a freed Arrakis, because we know when Arrakis is fully liberated, we're going to get the seas, we're going to get the water back, we're going to get green land. We see that green land. He's on a ship kind of surveying the place with Chani by his side. And I'm just like, maybe that's him as an emperor. Maybe in the next movie, we'll actually see that scene kind of come to fruition in like a fully realized Arrakis. Another scene was that on a desert, rocky environment, we see Chani having killed Paul, where Paul was just like, yo, I dreamed of you killing me at one point or another.
Right.
Like, you killed me in the future.
Which I would have told her that. I would have told her that. I would have been like, I had visions of you killing me, right?
Got that Madam Web arc going.
Yeah. I don't know what you guys talking about. So.
I think that's the third movie is going to explore. I think the Holy War, we just won't see it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
12
I think it's going to be after.
With all due respect, if
you're not going to get a Return to King moment, what?
If we have a 12-year time jump between this movie and Messiah, and he has not gained control of the galaxy, I'm going to start questioning him. I'm going to be like, "Are you really that guy? Are you really that guy?" So I think it's just going to be his life as the Emperor. I think Chani will lead some kind of revolution because it's going to be revealed in that movie where it's just like. What he did, not just to Arrakis, but to the universe, it's not the proper way. They're falling for the prophecies again. And it's just going to be like a more kind of like manipulated version of what they already are, which are people waiting for an opportunity to be truly free. And they can't because they're just under the rule of new management. It's not the Harkonnen. It's not the Emperor. It's just Paul. That's it. And they might realize that this whole prophecy thing is baloney. And Chani might lead the cause against that. And I think that's what's going to be explored. What role would Anya Taylor-Joy's character would be a part of? That's going to be an interesting thing if what I think comes to fruition. And I think that's how you're going to solve the whole Paul villain problem. I say problem, but like problem for Arrakis in the world, not like a critique problem. But I think how you solve that is going to be in that kind of fashion. That might sound a little bit cliche, but I'm sure that whatever Frank Herbert wrote in those books and however Denis is going to write the script, it's going to affect that. It's going to have like some kind of like interesting twist on it. So I think that's just how things are going to work. But I think that next movie is going to be him reigning as the Emperor. We're going to see him a fully realized Emperor, not just ruling over Arrakis, but over the whole universe. We might see scenes with different houses. That's what I'm most interested in seeing. just more expansion of the world, not just the Emperor, not just the Bene Gesserit, not just the Harkonnen, not just the Atreides.
I want to see what these.
I want
to
see what these other houses.
These other houses are going to come for Paul as well. I truly believe it.
I don't think it'll be like,
who they're going to surprise us now this time? Who's going to be the heads
with
of
the cast? With the casting,
who's going to be the casting?
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited for. Who's going to be
there?
You're going to see someone like Ben Affleck just showing up out of nowhere, or someone like fucking like you're going to see somebody crazy just show up randomly, bro. He's the first person. I don't know why I just thought of him, but
it'd be hilarious.
Somebody just randomly pop up in that.
You know what we need?
Tom Hardy. Yeah.
Being that girl, you know what we need? We need John Cena to be one of the house leaders.
We're gonna see Harrison Ford shows up just randomly. You know, he worked with Villeneuve, so I'm just thinking everyone that worked with him, like you're gonna see
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
I want to see like some interesting personalities in them too, because Harkonnen and Atreides have like a very distinct personalities among their leaders. Yeah. Like not just Paul, but like with Leto too. I want to see what these leaders are like. I don't need to see like their whole civilization. I don't need to see their planets. I want to see like the personalities of the leaders and the kind of like little armies they have behind them. That'd be very awesome to see. Other than that, I think that what this trilogy will be, I think it'll just be like the effects of him being emperor and how we move past that. And yeah, you know, that's just what I want to see in Dune Messiah. But I'm sure that whatever Denis or Frank Herbert had written in Messiah is going to surprise me. I'm going to read the book. So that's just how I'm going to go about it.
You're going to read the book before the movie comes out?
If it's a 5 and 6 year wait, I'm not waiting.
Yeah, I thought about going out to buy the first Dune. I thought about buying Dune so I can read that, and I probably am gonna get Dune Messiah. I'm probably not gonna order. Probably gonna go to Barnes and Noble, try to find the book, and I'm probably gonna read these.
Target has the box set.
Yeah, so I don't know if I want to buy the whole box set.
Well, you can just buy the first 3.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna buy the first 3.
The box set is the first 3.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not all of them.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
I heard the way that the series turns out is like wild.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Like even hearing things about what happened in the first book, I'm just like, all right, bro. Like, what was Frank Herbert on?
I heard some
X-rated
X-rated stuff.
You smoke some, bro.
Yeah, y'all know what I told you.
Yeah,
you guys know what I told you.
Smoking some real quick, bro. Stuff, man. Go ahead, Tyler. You want to say something?
Seeing that on an IMAX screen.
No. No.
And that's the thing. Is like, just imagine if this movie's rated R. Like the things they can go with level. Like, oh man, like, dude.
But yeah. I think we've covered pretty much everything related to this movie.
The question was, what do we think is going to happen in the next film?
Yeah. Go ahead, AJ. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't catch what Tyler and Alex said, but what Kevin said, I pretty much agree with all that. I think this entire film, you know, the trilogy or whatever, is going to be, you know, a boy, man, pure of heart, gets drunk with power, and someone needs to, you know, start a revolution, take him down, Katniss Everdeen style. And, you know, I think that's basically what this, you know, franchise is going to be.
Tanya's just going to show up on Worm. She's going to be broadcast to all of Iraq.
Right. Exactly. She's going to get on the telecom, be like, are you with me? You know, all that. But yeah, that's what I'm expecting for this next one. Like Kevin said, I am really interested to see what the other houses have in store, and that's kind of what I wanted from this movie too. I was kind of a little bit let down that we didn't get much or really anything from the other houses.
We just hear
like, so is all House Atreides, Bene Gesserit, Fremen, and Harkonnens? That's it. Like,
center of the universe.
Right, exactly. But I feel hopeful for the next one. Yeah, they got the Attack on Titan, Game of Thrones arc going. So
I just want to watch this movie again. I just want to watch it again.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
I can't wait to see it in like a week.
Yeah, I mean the physical is next month, right? Yeah.
The release day is a bit. The release day.
I think they said April. I think they said April, right?
April's digital.
I'm about to say on Groove. It said on Groove. It says the release day has not been announced. So.
Oh, got you.
The rumored.
Which I wasn't charged for shipping. Free shipping. So yeah, that's why I ordered it for Groove. Fuck Walmart.
So we'll probably be getting this physical like in May, maybe June.
I'll be okay for that. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
make all the money you can. I want this movie to hit $1 billion. So if you can stay in theaters and hit $1 billion,
It comfortably.
We know
will,
where it's at
especially
now?
if it's-
no, I don't know where it's at now. I think the
It's
opening
already
weekend
made
was
200
like,
million. 200 million right
yeah,
now.
I know the opening weekend was about 80 something, 80 million.
It's at 200 million right now. It needs 500 to break even. So if it's at 200 million now, it'll make a week tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a month, it'll break even.
And also I feel like the word of mouth is gonna, because I've been talking about this movie at my job, and my coworker
Me too, today.
He hasn't even seen the first one. And I told him, bro, watch the first one and then go see the second one. I've been literally just ramming it down everyone's throats, like, go see this movie. Go see.
I was at work.
I
was at work today, and my coworkers all the way in the back, they were like, "Save your tears, don't waste your water." I turned around and I said, "Bro, bro.
Said don't waste your water, not even for the dead." Like, oh, that line, dude. That's a line, dude. Try to tell somebody that at the funeral, bro. You will get slapped.
I was like, you saw
Don't tell nobody that at the funeral, bro. Don't tell nobody that, bro.
Terrible.
Listen, I already got my friends up on it. Like, I told them, when spring break comes around, we're watching this shit.
Yes, sir.
We watching that shit.
The last thing I want to touch on before we get out of here is, we're getting the main thing I want to talk about is Avatar, because Avatar, I feel like it's had a lot of comparisons to Dune. I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, not last year, 2 years ago, we had Avatar: Way of Water, big epic experience, and now we have Dune Part 2." I'm gonna be honest, we're getting like 5-6 Avatar movies at this point.
Yeah,
bro, you could throw that shit in the trash. I'm gonna be honest. Take that shit and throw it in the trash. I don't need that anymore. What I need is 6 Dune movies. Bro. That's what I need. I don't give a shit.
And that's gonna be the upsetting thing, is that we're not gonna get 6. If we do, it's not gonna be Villeneuve.
Because to me, Dune has accomplished more in 2 movies in half the time than the Avatar movie. And I get it. Yeah. Ooh, you wanted to develop the technology. Bro, the point is, it's still half the time, bro. This man has achieved cinematic magic in 3 years compared to James Cameron waiting like
10 years.
More than that. 13? Wasn't it 13 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, please. I'm over Avatar.
I mean, he needed the tech for that, but go ahead.
I didn't know tech makes a movie good. I didn't know tech makes a script good.
You just said accomplish more in half the time. Like, aren't you talking about how long
the point? What I'm saying
is Villeneuve accomplished more in half the time that James Cameron did with his 2 Avatar movies.
Exactly, and I stand by that. I don't need any more Avatar movies. I will gladly. I think Dune.
I just need 1 more Avatar movie. We don't need 5 movies. I think 3 movies is enough for that franchise.
Even what Way of Water. I've watched it a second time. I'm like, I'm over this. Dune, give it to me. I will take all of it. I'll take the TV shows. I'll take all of it, bro. So I just wanted to say that.
We need more of this world. That's what
I saw. Yeah,
we need more of this world, dude.
I saw that argument, and I was like, really? With this? Like, bro, give me a break. Dune to me is. I'd watch Dune Part 2 twice, back to back in a row before I throw in Way of Water.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
I still haven't seen Way of Water.
I was like,
that's how much you care about it.
I was watching Way of Water, sitting there ready to pass out. Doing Part 2, I was like, I'm ready to watch it again. Let's go.
I'm ready to watch it again, bro. It's okay. You
guys are haters. Unprovoked.
Wait,
I like the Way of Water. I gave it.
Kevin, you love that franchise? You love that Avatar franchise?
I love it, but I'm not as much as Dune. But I'm just calling Tyler a hater because this was all unprovoked.
No, because I saw
it wasn't because someone made an
lead
argument
up to the conversation.
Somebody made an argument about it, man.
So why you got to bring Avatar into this?
They're 2 big epics. They're 2 big epics.
Bring up. You know what? If we're gonna hate on people, let me bring up this. Anakin.
Yo,
I've seen people compare him to Anakin. I've seen Paul compare to. Now you don't know this. AJ, you know that compared to Aaron from Attack on Titan. Listen, Paul's the GOAT. We're gonna see how this shit turns out. But he better not take like 3 billion years for this shit, though.
Yo, we getting the sequel in 2030.
It's a fair comparison because Star Wars took inspiration from Dune, which is why I wear my Star Wars shirt.
I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt underneath there too. I'm not
Bro, I've seen people
my Star Wars shirt too. Yeah, I've seen my Star Wars shirt too, just for that reason.
Do I need to pull mine out then? Like,
yep. What you got? 5? What's 5? Oh, Celtics.
It's a Celtics shirt. Yeah.
Okay.
But
we ain't talking sports,
bro.
which I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kevin. My Cavs beat your Celtics. I'm sorry.
Listen, shit happens.
They folded a 22-point lead. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's the NBA. They lose 22-point leads now.
Listen.
That's Dune, bro. That's Dune. That's Dune part 2, you guys. That's Dune part 2, you guys. But obviously, we're on the last part of our stream, yo. Physical media update, you guys. Obviously, they've announced the physical for Dune Part 2 is already available for pre-order, which I was telling my brother, he was like, wait, what? It's already available? He pre-ordered it before he even went to see the movie. I convinced him that much to pre-order the Steelbook before he even saw it. Then he walked out was like, thank you, Alex. He said, thank you. He said, he just told me thank you because he was just so
bag
happy.
Secured.
If I'll be honest, I would have done that shit myself too.
Yeah.
If I saw the movie March 2nd and I saw the pre-order on March 1st, I'd be like, all right, purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I purchased
my number
it
one.
so fast. I purchased it so fast because they announced that it went out and I went to go check and it was sold out. I was like, fuck, man. It's like No Way Home all over again. Yeah. And then it went back up and I immediately pre-ordered it. I was like, it's back up, go.
But the one thing I say is it's on multiple sites. It's not just like a Walmart exclusive, which is good. That's why I said I ordered mine.
Amazon's dragging it with their prices.
Amazon is too much. It's like $40-some.
Yeah.
And then obviously you get it at Walmart. So you got 3 different destinations to get Dune Part 2, which I'm very happy about. Because it's not, like I said, it's not the Marvel situation where now if you don't have the Marvel Steelbook, you're fucked. You're done because it's gone.
You're done.
So anybody, you guys have anything to show?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Tyler.
I do too.
So the first 2 things, it's really 3 things because they're all bundled. So the first 2 things I got are the first 2 Kung Fu Panda movies.
Nice.
I got these 5. Show it, damn it, $5 a piece.
That sounds about right. That's so much.
They didn't have the 3rd one, but the 3rd one's on Netflix. So, but I will be watching these before. What the? Oh, he said, I don't know physical media. I'm out of here.
Got a blast.
See it, chumps. But I'm gonna watch these before this weekend because I am seeing Kung Fu Panda 4 on Sunday.
I totally forgot that was coming out.
I seen the first one a lot as a kid. I don't really remember. I remember parts. I saw the second one once when I was a kid. It's basically gonna be a first time watch when I watch it again. I don't remember anything.
I like that they match like that. The cover.
Yeah, but the 3rd one probably doesn't.
It's not going to match.
I didn't get them because of that. I got them because they were the cheapest ones. Next, I got the Marvels Steelbook. Yes, this was out of stock for a while. I was pissed at that, and I kept checking every day, literally every day. I was like, "Come on, I know you're gonna go back in stock," and it went back in stock, and I grabbed it.
And then it was gone again.
I love this Steelbook, and I really enjoyed this movie. I did not hate my time with this movie, and I actually kind of want to rewatch it to see if I liked it only because I was sick or because I actually really liked it. But
I tell you right now, I rewatched it and I still enjoyed it. I did.
So then I'll probably like it too. And the last things that I got, yes, I got the X-Men.
Oh, nice. That's why you were asking me about them.
Yeah. So I actually got this like 3 weeks ago. But this was $8 at Book Off, so I grabbed it. This is the cheapest that I've seen it. But yeah, I got this like 3 weeks ago and I forgot to show it. But these
You
two I got
where'd you get those from?
Amazon. I
Okay.
ordered them from Amazon.
I need to get those. Wow. I need to get the trilogy.
I needed these on 4K. I've seen me and AJ have been going through them, so we watched up to First Class. These 3 on 4K, phenomenal.
Yes,
I love all 3 of
need
these
those.
4Ks.
those.
The Last Stand is the worst of the 3, but it looks great on 4K.
It's you can definitely tell it's not filmed by Bryan Singer.
And then so I really like the first one. I have nostalgia for it. X2 is a banger.
Yes.
3 is I rewatched First Class last night. It's fine. I'm sorry. I know people. It's the best X-Men movie.
Are you? No, it's definitely not. Are you guys gonna watch Days of Future Past Road Cut or the theatrical version?
Well, I had planned on watching both, so I was gonna watch the theatrical with you and then Road Cut.
I was gonna watch Road Cut.
All right, so
you have Road Cut. You have it. You got Road Cut, AJ?
Me?
Physical?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so then I'll watch Days of Future the regular by myself then, and then we'll.
Does the 4K have
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have a 4K, which is upsetting. Someone commented on my video about that when I did a review, like, "Oh, it needs a 4K." I'm like, "You're right. It doesn't have one."
So Days of Future Past is my favorite X-Men movie. That's not Logan. I love it, and Apocalypse I don't think is that bad. I actually really really like Apocalypse for what it is.
After watching it, I can agree with you.
But yeah, I'm very happy to own these. I already had them before in this digipack. It's right here, so I can grab it in this digipack. So
Nice.
If you looked at my collection, you would think that I love the X-Men movies, and I don't really love the X-Men movies, but I like them a lot.
I need those 4Ks.
Does that set come with the Blu-rays? I think I might have asked you that, but that set come with the Blu-rays? Those sets?
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need those. Were they like 45?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, this one was 45, and then this one was like 50, but it went down to like 40 something. That's why I bought it.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that's why I think I checked what they were last time I went on there, because I did search those movies because I was watching them. I said, wonder how the 4Ks were. So I don't have separate releases.
I definitely recommend this one. All 3 of these look.
That's the one I would get. Yeah, I would get the original trilogy. But go ahead, AJ. You got something to show? Oh, got a blast.
Oh.
Well, since we already know you got that, bro. What?
This man.
You showed that off last time. We showed our Steelbook collection. So I mean, we got the better set. So I mean, you know.
But do you have pages?
No, and I'm happy about that.
Do I have what? We got Steelbooks.
If you don't,
but do you have the trays though? Do you have the trays?
If you don't get your
that's what I'm asking.
If you don't get your Twilight disc tray having
the disc trays, the disc trays,
the one case thing, no,
yes, one case, no slip cover having
no slip. Come on,
slip.
man.
No digitals either.
No digitals either.
What's wrong with you?
Which I got to redeem my digital copy. Now that I thought about it, thanks for reminding me.
Bro, you better do that. Because that's
that's
how
it
you
expired, bro.
Game of Thrones.
Yo, bro, I was so pissed about that, dude. I'm so mad. Oh, man, because it's
I
weird. My Blu-rays got digital codes and I haven't redeemed them, but I don't think they work.
Shame.
Only certain seasons have copies, digital copies, not all of them. So, but go ahead, AJ.
No, I don't have anything.
So you just showing you freaking troll. It's not physical media, but it's a Funko Pop. I bought my boy Paul Atreides. I bought the Funko Pop. I saw it. I was like, actually, I went to Target to go look for the Michael Jackson one that you showed me, right, Tyler? I didn't see it, but I was like, oh, I know what I can look for, and I was like, where is it? Where is it? And I saw the blue eyes. I said, there you go. Let me grab it.
I'm waiting for them to release a Funko Pop of him riding the sandworm.
Yeah, that's going to be a movie moment. Most likely, that will be a movie moment. I have a couple movie moments. I have like the Thanos and Captain America one. I have a Dark Knight one. So that most likely will be a movie moment, which will be badass. I want all these Funko Pops. They have Paul Atreides, Kurt Gurney, Chani, Steelguard, Fade, and Princess. I'm guessing that's Florence Pugh's character, right? Yeah. I thought they would have a lot more characters than that. Like, where is the Baron? I think the Baron Funko Pop will be hilarious. That'd probably be in a big box though, because they need all the little compartments that he has. But
have them floating.
Yeah,
have them
float. Yeah,
stand.
that shit would be fire. Funko, y'all need to do that. It would probably sell. But I want to get all these Funko Pops. I know is there Funko Pops for the first movie? I don't think so. Was there
I
Funko
think
Pops?
so.
Okay. Well, I want to get all these ones though, but yeah, but that's all the thing.
You back buying Funkos, bro?
For things that I love.
Oh shit. Okay.
You love a lot of things.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm actually about to purge my collection. I probably will be bringing Funko Pops with me to Indiana as well. I'm about to go through my collection probably Friday night.
I'll take some Funko Pops.
Bro, you have nowhere to put those Funko.
I'll figure it out.
I'll find someone. No,
I will figure it out.
What I'll do, Tyler, I'll take what I have. I'll send a picture, and I'll send you a picture of what I'm getting rid of. You just tell me which ones you want, because I am actually about to go through my collection and get rid of some stuff. Probably everything on that wall is safe that I'm displaying, but everything else is fair game.
Yeah, you got like 7.
I have a couple of those that are safe. Like
I got
this right here, behind this. This is definitely safe. You guys can't get it. This is. It's not only safe because it's AJ's Christmas gift, but this is amazing. I love this so much, and I'm not even saying it because he's here. I love this.
Is that Killer Clowns?
It is. This was his Christmas gift to me last year.
Bro. That's
awesome.
That's awesome, dude. And you got it displayed right there. That's awesome. So every time you look at it, you got a piece of AJ to look at.
That sounded weird. That sounded better in my head.
That did sound better.
That's my PS5 too, because he gave me a bunch of stickers from my PS5 and I put them on there.
Nice.
Yeah. I stay giving this man gifts. Where's my stuff? Where's my gifts? No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing.
I came to your house.
I'm playing.
All right, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I really had a good time. My cheeks are hurting so much for smiling and talking about this movie. My cheeks been hurting for the last couple of days because I can't stop thinking about this movie. Like I said, I might.
Yo, that sounded better in my head.
I might watch it again on my phone.
Yo, you said his cheeks were hurting.
Yeah, I didn't say y'all. See now y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. It's too late. It's too late for this. We need to go to bed now. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like we need to go to sleep because y'all tripping. But
you said your cheek was hurting for the past days.
I mean, yeah, because I've been smiling. What you mean?
You're not
bro.
You guys are tripping, bro.
Oh, you got 12-year-olds as co-hosts, bro.
I can tell.
Stop making it better.
I can tell. But I hope you guys enjoy the stream. Go follow Mind of a Nerd on Instagram. Go follow AJ Reacts 2 on YouTube, Instagram, all those.
Hey, I promise I'm 30 years old, man.
It's okay.
I promise.
I understand.
So real quick, next week we will be taking a break, and then we will be back the 20th for a watch along for Ghostbusters Afterlife in preparation for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and that spoiler talk will be next week. So look forward to those. Yeah. And also go check out our originals versus remakes for Insomnia. It was one of the lesser ones that we did, but it was whatever. We still put it out. And then our Godzilla one is coming very soon in preparation for this month for Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, which we're very excited for.
Not all of us.
Yeah, he's boring. Leave him.
Don't say that. Don't say we're all excited for it. No, I'm not excited for it at all.
Point is that'll be out. That'll be out very soon.
I'll probably be skipping that movie.
Whatever. That'll be out soon where we compare the original Godzilla versus the Gareth Edwards Godzilla, which I'm very excited for. And yeah.
I won't be there for the Ghostbusters Afterlife watch along because it is Stacy's birthday. So
happy birthday.
I will be back for the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire spoiler talk. So I'm excited for that.
I am too. Saw the trailer again. I'm like, I am actually excited for this movie.
Same.
That's a movie I'm excited for. So yeah. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Trying to get to 100 subscribers. We really appreciate if you can help us out with that. really appreciate it. Also, go follow our Instagram at NerdTalk.Official on Instagram. We post a lot of news that we don't talk about on here on that YouTube, on that Instagram page. Shout out to AJ for handling that. You are the best. I really appreciate you for that. Same with you, Tyler, as well. Thank you so much for doing that. And I hope you guys have a good night. I will be sleeping soundly tonight for sure. So yeah, peace out.
Here's the mind killer.
Here's the mind killer.